now. The shots are through the wall, not quite hitting, and there's the kill. Cruz falls to Chew.
Meg puts his face in a giant hole to throw a smoke canister. Not how you do that. Every player on the side.
Play it down, he's not going to be able to. It's the frack. Down to the final win.
Some of those operators who can really give you trouble.
Just right to the side of Project Bandits. They're now starting to retake all the way up through the mirror window, but there's one on highway. He gets called out.
Mr. Alexander leave me without words because he's killing people left and right.
Cloudy, and now Chew finds himself left alone, brings it to the 1v1, shuts down that way as well.
Flame Bolt moves forward and it launches the bandit into clear and plain sight line of the Lion. That doesn't matter at all.
Very bad. He finds two. Can he kill both? He can. Butcher's just better. He is activated on the think of gameplay right now. This is why everyone loves Minka. Oh, nice shot from Butcher. He's going crazy in a quad.
Coming through, they didn't actually drone all the way up through and understand what the setup looks like. The library walk-ups are able to do things like just fall through the site here, and especially with that sense wall coming out, really stop them.
It could be anywhere you can find the first one on the yarn for 5 seconds.
Hello everyone and welcome to the lower bracket finals of Xenon Gaming Series between the St. Louis Leviathans and Outlast. We have a best of 3 lined up for you tonight, and the winner will be going on to play Homeland, formerly Superlight, in the grand finals tomorrow evening. My name is Crisis. I will be your caster for this evening, but I will not be doing it alone as I am joined by aliossz. Ali, we've got, as the kids would say, a barn burner tonight.
We absolutely do have a barn burner tonight, or on our hands tonight, if I can say words correctly. So might want to lay off the play. Yeah, might want to lay off the play-by-play if that's going to happen. But one thing that's interesting about this game is that there's going to be infinite overtime, which you don't normally see outside of grand finals, or I guess in grand finals in the most recent major. But you know, it'll be interesting. We could see it, or we might not. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd like to. It'd be fun. Just not on map 3.
Yeah, no, just not on map 3. But yeah, we're going to be playing on 3 maps tonight, like we said. Potentially, the first map is going to be Clubhouse, and then we're going to be going to Skyscraper, a map that the St. Louis Leviathans are absolutely deadly on. They've won it every time they've played it this season. And we're going to be going to Villa for the decider map if we have to get that far. This is a map pool that really fits both teams. Leviathans, of course, making that run through the lower bracket. They got bumped out early on. They were the number 2 seed in groups, and now they are on the revenge tour with Rowe being the MVP in group stages, and that's kind of just carried over into the playoffs. He's been playing absolutely fantastically, and the Leviathans 2-0 win in their last match. You know they're hungry for more. They want to face Hope against Homeland in the grand finals, and they have a very good chance of doing so tonight with their kind of a niche pick of Skyscraper sneaking through.
They are going to be more than hungry, as from talking to their coach previously, they really wanted to beat Superlight, now Homeland, and the opposite happened, where they just kind of fell apart on game day. So they're all really going to be feeling that passion and that feeling of wanting to knock Outlast out of the way and then get into the grand finals and do what they couldn't previously.
Yeah, and like I said, the Leviathans, they've made up some role changes as well. They've kind of moved proxies around, and this is a roster that's been in the T3, T4 scene for a very, very long time, and they've kind of found some success. But we also need to talk about Waffle. Waffle has been playing fantastically. Rowe, again, League MVP, Chew, P. Loudy, every single person is playing fantastically on the Leviathans. And like I said, last time they played, they won 7-3 and 7-4 on their maps. And the rounds that they lost were usually ended up being like clutch rounds. When the Leviathans are clicking and everything is going well for them, they're a scary team to beat.
Absolutely. And one thing I also like about them quite a bit is that everyone, as you alluded to, can pick things up, and sometimes in games, you'll see Waffle starts off the game really strong, but then he kind of starts to fall off a bit, and then P. Loudy is like, nah bro, I got you, and he picks it up, and then they close out the map that way. Sometimes it's row trading off with proxies. Like, everyone can pick things up whenever another player can't, and usually when you see them not getting kills, it's because there are no more kills. But we do have two teams tonight, with the other team being Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast, a team I'm not as familiar with. I haven't had a chance to cast them as much throughout the season, but they made it all the way to the upper bracket semifinals. So obviously a very, very skilled team here. I mean, Bembo, again, a name that we've talked about a ton in the T3, T4 scene. Nightmare, also very good. Spudsack, their captain, an absolutely fantastic player, really able to do those mid-round adjustments and kind of coordinate the team where they need to be and when they need to be there. So absolutely no slack on either one of these teams tonight. And as I said, this is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be very back and forth. I don't think we're going to see any blowouts here. And quite honestly, I'm excited for it.
If Homeland wasn't the team in the grand finals already, I would say that this could be a matchup where it could be a rare case where the semifinal is better than the grand final. But Homeland is always entertaining, whether they're picking Kavera, Oryx, and Ella, or actually executing really interesting strategies. But one thing I'd like to highlight with both of these teams that we're playing tonight, or watching play tonight, is they both like their kind of very aggressive play styles, and they go about it in different ways. With Leviathans being a lot more focused on counter-stratting and VOD reviewing the other team beforehand and using that knowledge to get aggressive picks, and Outlast liking to live more in the moment with Angel calling things as he sees them in the game. And those are very interesting play styles to see come together. And just another example of why I love this game so much, where you have two teams that are super aggressive, that really like to be in your face, but they have very different methodologies when it comes to actually getting that done.
Right. I mean, it's the old adage of a hammer and a scalpel, right? Both are tools and both have a job that they're designed for, but they're completely different, right? Yes, they're both tools. Yes, they both have a job, but the way that they perform those jobs is just so different. Leviathans, they're very surgical, they're very precise, they move as a unit. You're not going to get a pick on them and get away with it, unless maybe it's like a lone roamer kind of pushing around, trying to waste time, or somebody maybe trying to get a flank. They are very pack battle buddy mentality. Outlast, from what I've seen, like you said, they just bring pure aggression time in and time out. And there's a couple of things in life that are certain, right? Death, taxes, and Outlast just flanking the hell out of you, right? It happens. It just does. Outlast, Leviathans, they're both very, very great teams. We are just kind of waiting for everybody to get into the lobby at this point. It wouldn't be a siege cast, Ali, if we didn't have some type of issue trying to get players into the lobbies, but that does give us more time to kind of talk about these teams. And again, the map pool, we're talking about Clubhouse, Skyscraper, and Villa, three maps that are very stapled, not just in T3 and T4, but all through all of competitive, even T1 and T2. Clubhouse being nicknamed Dub House, right? It's a very popular map, and quite honestly, one of the favorite ones. Skyscraper, you don't see a ton of. We did get to see some of it at the major. Leviathans, they love to play on it. And Villa's kind of been a staple since it came in. So what do you think going into these maps? Do any team really have an advantage in your mind?
So with Clubhouse, I don't really think either team does, as it's what I, among others, have called a fundamental proving grounds map, with the basic logic being that everyone knows how to play it. I met very few people who don't know how to play it, and those people are usually bad. So it's something where whenever you build a new team, whenever you have a new group of people get together, you're probably going to learn like Clubhouse and Oregon and Chalet first, with maybe a little bit of Cafe if you're feeling adventurous. And Skyscraper is a little bit more of a niche pick, like you said, but it is starting to become a little bit more mainstream, especially with a lot of teams that have started to favor really aggressive play. And Villa's just like, who doesn't know Villa except me? But that's besides the point.
Well, and Villa really hasn't seen any changes since it's come into the map pool. Clubhouse and Skyscraper have both seen overhauls. right? Villa's the only map in this pool tonight that hasn't seen any kind of changes or anything to it, really. It has stayed the same since day one of coming in. So if you've played the map for a long time, if you played Siege for a long time, you know this map, you know the angles, you know the tons of verticality that can be played. Vertical grenades, depth charging, as it's called. Gonna see a ton of it tonight if we get to that point. Buck, he's probably gonna be playing a ton on that map just because, again, the soft destruction, the vertical play, being able to go underneath and breach things. Especially because I have a feeling our boy Thatcher is gonna get banned out like always. And if that's the case, you will have to kind of send somebody underneath. But we are actually going to go to a very, very short break. We do apologize. There's some issues with some MOS files, actually, that's happening. So we want to have complete and total integrity with the match. We're going to throw it to a very, very quick break. Please don't go anywhere. We will be right back as soon as we can get everyone into the lobby and ready to go.
The silence fades into the night. Coyotes sing at the moonlight. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Feel the wind touch our face. Let's take a spin to a foreign place. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape, let's escape. Let's escape.
Well, welcome back to the lower bracket finals for Xenon Gaming Series. We have Leviathans versus Outlast. We had a little bit of a technical issue regarding Moss, which is something I'm sure all the comp players in the Twitch chat can empathize with. But we are getting into the first map, being Clubhouse with Outlast on attack and Leviathans on defense.
Yeah, and we're going to see a Habana ban coming out here. Not really that surprising. Habana, since her change of being able to fire out a determined amount of those X-Cairo pellets, she's really kind of become the queen of hatches. Ace isn't that great for it. However, Maverick being banned out now. He is the king of hatches if Habana's queen.
Jag.
Might have to use some of those hard breach tools, the can openers, they're called, and let's see who the defenders are that are going to be banned out.
First, we're going to see Mira, who is very common for this map, although I'm not always entirely sure what that reason is she's not super useful on every site unless you're a big brain mega genius. Granted, both these teams are very talented and do have great strat making abilities, but I digress. We're going to see Azami as well instead of the typical Valkyrie or Cade, which does make a lot of sense. Is she makes taking rafters significantly more difficult if the Azami has any remote clue what they're doing.
Well, and the thing with Thatcher being left on the board, the Kaed ban isn't as important. Those EMPs, they'll be able to take out a larger radius, so you're not going to have to kind of dig for them. That's one of the big things on Clubhouse, is you can hide them in snazzy little fancy places that are almost impossible to get rid of. But doesn't matter, as he's not even going to be on the board here. As we're going downstairs, again, Leviathan starting here on defense. We're going to see that Mute Mozzie combo and Row. We talked about it a little bit. The league MVP through the group stages going to be playing on Vigil, trying to get some of that roam work done. To playing his classic smoke. We all know that he likes to sit there and anchor. Waffle bringing out the castle as well. So going to be doing a little bit of anchoring. A pretty standard lineup coming out from the attackers as well. But Nightmare looks like he's going to be swapping off onto the Capital, potentially bringing those can openers, like I talked about, the hard breach tool, to maybe deal with some of these hatches.
That and the ability that he has to either dislodge or corner roamers or even people on site. He is a very valuable addition to any attack on this map, provided you know how to use him. And I'm almost certain that Outlast will. We have kind of an SSG style roam coming out here from Leviathans, as they hope to play the entire map and hopes to slow Outlast down as much as they can while taking preferably minimal casualties.
Yeah, this is that room that, like you said, it was kind of made famous by SSG. It's take over the entire map and force them to push you out of it, which, like you said, Capital, fantastic at doing that. Those firebolts really only have two real counters. That would be in a Rooney laser gate and the Wamai magnet discs. Jaeger can't stop them, and nothing else can either. So should really have free reign with absolutely nobody on the board. We're going to be seeing the Ace using two Selma charges here to open up this hatch, and it's a little bit odd that you'd be using them, especially when you have the can opener spot. He's going to be taking a little bit of damage. Not quite sure where that's from. Oh, it's Waffle playing here inside of Logi. Is got a little bit of back and forth between the sledge and the castle, just trying to take some map control, but Waffle going to fall off now and drop down into billiards.
This is the beauty of these kind of SSGs type strategies, is that they have a lot of avenues of escape and also a lot of ways to challenge your opponents aggressively, as we've seen Waffle and now Ro do continuously from the top, or from the hatch of Logi. And we've already seen Waffle fall off, and Jabrak gets picked off now, so not quite working out for the runaway after being an annoying thing, especially after Chu is picked off on site.
Well, not just that, Angel is actually going to be getting the plant down all alone in sight here. He has Nightmare with him as well. It's already down. It's a 5v3P Loudy on very low health. Row playing here outside of Moto. Hidoi, he's going to be able to get one onto Waffle. It's all going to come down now to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Row. Will he be able to get one? No, he can't even get that down. He swings around the generator, able to get one on the tomato. Tau pistol out in hand, and he swings. Unfortunately for Row, not able to get it done. You don't have to reload that LMG very often. We actually see a pistol swap, as we all know swapping to pistol is faster than reloading. So great plays coming out there from Outlast. A surprise drop. They saw that site was clear and just took it with very, very little resistance. Got some early picks and were able to just kind of walk in and get the diffuser down.
As I'm talking about why I like these kinds of realms that we saw Leviathans doing, we also see one of the main issues I have with it. That being that it can be hard to control the site at times, especially if you aren't that aware of what's going on around it or actively on top of it, which does happen sometimes and definitely isn't helped by the fact that one of the core players of Leviathans is currently not here and just being filled in for by Jabrock, who's a great player in his own right. But there is a bit of a chemistry difference between someone you've been playing with for months and months and someone who you might not have met before.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like you said, there's that chemistry. These teams put hours and hours and hours into scrimming and learning strats and learning where each other are going to play and how to play off of each other. And when you kind of throw in, again, a fantastic player in Jabrock, but he's not who you're playing with at all times. He's not your normal fifth, your normal anchor, your normal teammate. Things will be a little bit difficult no matter how good you are. There is going to be that kind of a little bit of a learning period, but it was only round one. We got a lot of Siege left to play here tonight, and P. Loudy, he's going to be playing at the top of these red stairs here on the Wamai, and we're going to see Thermite using that trick now since the nerf to the mute jammer. The radius doesn't go quite as high, so you're able to get this Thermite charge up a little bit higher and open up that wall if you need to. So that's what we see there coming out. We're going to see the experiment go off and blow up. And now Hidoy out there with that LMG looking to do some work in the server.
So here he's probably going to be doing more of a flank watch thing, as not every team likes to take from the cache side for a gym attack. So they'll just open up the CCTV wall and then have someone sit outside of it and just watch so no one can peek the window. So Spudsack can do what he's doing right now and play the master window without having to worry about getting fried.
Yeah, being out here on highway, like you said, you're very, very vulnerable to that server window, and that is exactly what Hidoy's doing. And he's got the gun to do it. That LMGE of Zofia, 150 bullets. It's a lot to spray down at somebody who might be trying to peek through your window. And you can see here both Nightmare and Spud able to sit out here on highway and just kind of hold things down. Chew playing behind the mattress, going to be getting droned out here. We're going to see potential peaks coming through as the wall is going to be getting opened by a Selma charge. Smoke canister coming out. Grenade coming in to take out Chew, and that's going to be your smoke off the board.
Tomato's also going to pick up Jabrock in the meantime before Rogue does get a consolation prize onto Tomato, but the diffuser is going down, and no one on Lev has an active way to attack it, and so it's going to go down successfully, with Waffle making an attempt to get in through Jim while Hidoy is picked off screen by Pilati. They could try to get a ghost defuse here, or a ninja defuse, as the kids like to say, but it will be very difficult, and slightly less so as Ro is able to get a pick onto Angel.
Yeah, Nightmare, though, he's going to come in and take one onto Waffle. Only about 13 seconds left here to get this defuse off. Health is not in the favor, but Nightmare, he's going to get one as Ro finally gets taken out. P. Loudy going to be hopping back through. Position has been given away, and there's Nightmare to be able to finish things off. AK-12 in hand. Looking fantastic with that Black Ice and the Bolo Charm. We're going to see Outlast go up 2-0 here. Now, again, this is their map pick, Ali, so that's probably not something to be too worried about. This is the map that they wanted, so we knew that they were probably going to come out hot, but I don't think anybody expected them to come out this hot.
I don't think any of us did, not in, like, a negative way, because you and I both spent a decent amount of time hyping up Outlast, but typically you expect the defense on Clubhouse to do better, not that much better, at least not as skewed towards the defense as most maps, but typically you are going to see the defense do better, especially on a site like Arsenal Church. So it's a bit odd, but like nothing's really going too wrong. It's still perfectly salvageable. Lev just don't want to find themselves 6-0 or 5-1 down.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and you touched on it in the beginning of the broadcast here. Clubhouse is a proving ground, right? If you're playing competitive, this is the map where you can show off how good you are. And right now we are seeing how good Outlast is on attack. The flip side of that is the Leviathans will have their chance to attack as well. But I think if Lev can come out here 4-2 at the worst, 3-3, they're going to be perfectly fine because, like I said, they're going to have their chance at attack too. And again, this was Outlast map pick. We got Skyscraper coming up next, which is Leviathans. I don't think anybody should be worried. There's still a ton of siege left to be played here. As we are going back down to the basement, we're going to see Waffle setting up one of those Kona stations behind the generator there. Once again, and this is something that's kind of been interesting, there hasn't really been any Jaeger play, really. We had seen the Aruni, and now we've seen P. Loudy on Wamai twice, but no Jaeger to stop anything. So those players behind generator, anything comes in, they're going to have to move or at least get out of where the range of the magnet would be, because we all know those magnets don't destroy the projectile. They just pull them to a different location.
That location can be most inconvenient at times. But one thing that I'd like to point out is that in the previous round that we saw the site being defended, we saw a very realm-heavy, like, play the entire map type setup, which is taken advantage of, not instantly, but very close to it by Outlast. Pretty much as soon as they realized what was going on, they were in the site. Whereas this time, Lev have opted to play this defense much closer to the chest with something damn near an entirely anchor strategy. And it seems to be working out for them, as there has been a lot more of the map taken by their opponents, but they're also alive, and the diffuser isn't going down, which is always a win in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they have taken a lot of real estate here, but down under halfway through the round, gone. I mean, we've got a minute 15 left here, and he said every single person on the Leviathans defense is still alive. We see a pre-placed Nitro cell there, going to be trying to do some damage to it. Oh, as soon as we say that, Hadoy is going to be taking out Jabrock. That's going to be your Malusi off the board, or no, your Mute, excuse me, off the board. A bit of a spectator bug there. We hate to see those, but will be the Mute off the board. 55 seconds, though, still not a lot of time, and Leviathan's still anchored up here pretty well.
They are indeed. Nightmare's going to get a pick onto Row, and then Waffle's going to be felled as well, and the diffuser is going to go down inside of Church. Pilates is going to make a move to try to prevent this from happening, but he and Shu will be both murdered as a third round in a row comes out for Outlast in really dominant fashion.
Dominant's an understatement. That was a flawless round. Leviathans just not able to pull that one back. We are going to see them use their tactical timeout now and try to talk things over with their coach. This has to be really the turning point for them, because, like you said, if Outlast manages to take 2 more rounds, or heaven forbid 3 more rounds, they're going to be in a very, very tough spot here. If you can turn it around now, again, kind of finish things 3-3, 4-2 on a map like Clubhouse, you're not going to be as worried. But the thing that kind of hurts you as well is now Outlast also get to talk to their coach.
Yep. And whilst I'm not super familiar with the coaches for either of these teams specifically, as they're both very new coaches that I haven't had the chance to see or cast yet, it is, like you alluded to, a blessing and a curse, is you can take the time to reset your momentum and just calm down, but your opponents can also do that, and their coach is also talking. So we could see more of the same. We could see more of the same, but a little bit closer, or we could see a Lev resurgence. I am not sure, as these situations tend to be fairly unpredictable. What I am certain of is that something's going to happen, or something needs to happen for Leviathan if they have hopes of still taking this map.
Yeah, and we're seeing them completely avoid cache and server. They're going back up to the gym here. They've lost this site, as they've lost 2 times downstairs. And at this point, you got to ask yourself, if they lose this round, do they try to go back downstairs? Do they try to stick it here? Or is it time maybe to swap over to either cache or the downstairs site, which has kind of gotten a little bit of a strategy. It's been fleshed out a little bit by some competitive teams, obviously nowhere near as much as the other sites, but if they cannot win this round and they go down 4-0, Ali, where are they going to go?
So, I'm not sure, if I'm being completely honest, as we do tend to see teams have their preferred sites, especially on a map with 4 sites, but usually you don't completely avoid half of the sites that exist, as there is an argument to be made for saving your very best strategies for grand finals, but that also doesn't matter if you lose, and that might not be what's going on here, as I am not on Leviathan. All I know is that they need to change something, and quickly.
I mean, if we've learned anything about saving strats, is that G2 has showed us time and time again that it doesn't always matter if you're saving strats or not.
This
You
is
be saving them for 5 years, and it doesn't matter. You're still can't win. But like you said, we have Hadoy here again, holding on to that flank watch. P. Loudy going to be sitting here playing server. He's going to get a little bit tricky. A flash is coming out. Row actually going to start things off here and get a big pick. That is going to be Hadoy off. So that's that LMG. The Sophia off the board. Spud going to be taking a little bit of damage now himself. Some combat. And luckily, though, everybody's favorite operator, Finka, is on the board to be able to boost him back up. But as soon as I say that, he's going to take a ton more damage. Going to have to use one of those adrenal surges here quick to get him back up and in the fight.
I believe that's the first opening pick that Leviathans have, which may be as a result of the tactical timeout. As I say that, though, Nightmare is going to get a pick on Turo, so the hero of the day is Feld, as this attack is largely pivoted to something more focused on getting rid of Cash, and Pilates in a bit of a pickle here, as he is able to escape, but he was being surrounded by all sides for a second before Spudsack is felled by Waffle. So, way better for Leviathans here than we have previously seen, although the Jabrock is about to find himself between several rocks in a hard place if he isn't able to get out.
Yeah, and he's going to rotate off as well here, and a fantastic play, by the way, from P. Loudy. Wasted an absolute ton of time there, red stairs. He felt the pincers coming in of that multi-prong attack. Was like, you know what? I'm out, guys. I'm going to dip. I'm going to live to fight another day. Now we're down here to 45 seconds. It's a 4v3, health securely in the hands of Leviathans as well. All of them at full health, and there goes Chu taking out Nightmare. Angel, though, he's going to get one onto that refrag as Waffle's going to take out Tomato. And it's all going to come down to the thermite, but it's not going to matter as P. Loudy, the man with the plan earlier in the round, is going to finish things off and give Leviathans their first round win here on Gym Bedroom.
Well, we were questioning the decision to go back to that site, and question no more, ladies and gentlemen, is Leviathans have won a round. Now, if they want to be comfortable in the next half, they need to win 2 more. But at the bare minimum, they just need 1. If they lose the next 2 rounds, this half is pretty firmly in the grasp of Outlast, and it just puts the map in general not within Outlast's hand, but right next to it, within reaching distance, and it's Lev's job at that point to try to pull it away. We are going to see CCTV being broken out for the first time, so it seems they have decided that the other sites are also defendable. So I am curious to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but what I was going to say was, if the Leviathans would go down 5-1, all that proves is that you can win 5 rounds on defense. So you're right. They're not completely out of it in that sense. Boy, it's hard. I mean, it is definitely hard. It's hard enough to win 4 rounds total in ranked, let alone 5 rounds in a row in comp against such a good team. But as you said, we will be seeing CC here, and I think this is kind of a smart decision. You know that you haven't been able to handle the basement. Outlast has had 2 pretty dominant rounds there, and you were right. That was the first time last round there where Leviathans got the opening pick, so you know they're going to be hoping to pull that off again. And we're going to see Jabrock, a little bit of a bandit trick situation here. Ever since Bandits got that little bit of a, not necessarily a rework, I would call it more of a tweak. We've seen these kind of instances where Bandits are getting back to bandit tricking a little bit on certain maps. No Flores, no Capital to be able to flush him out here, and Ro, he's going to be taking a little bit of damage, but he's going to finish it off onto Hadoy. Going to be taking him off. That's 2 rounds in a row now where the Sophia's been the opening death.
It's also 2 rounds in a row where Ro has gotten the opening pick onto the same person. So it's going to take away a lot of very valuable utility in the form of the Sophia, and if this bandit trick goes off like Leviathans are hoping it will, this is really going to put a thorn in their side. Is the attempt is going to come out, but Jabrock is going to be naded, and the wall will be open. So an even exchange in terms of ban count, but ultimately a victory for Leviathans, as ultimately the utility on the Sophia was much more valuable than the Bandit. But Ro does get a pick before he gets picked off himself, so trades going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all around.
Yeah, Ro was down to about 15 health as well, so one single bullet was all it was going to take from pretty much any of these attacker weapons to take him down, short of maybe a pistol or some sort. But We still have 3 members of Leviathans here. P. Loudy playing up in this 90 Rafters area. Going to be missing every single shot onto the drone. There is 1 member that's going to be Tomato of Outlast sitting here. He's going to get some red pings. Going to know what's going on. Nightmare. He's going to be able to take out Waffle. P. Loudy, the last one alive, as Chu gets taken out by Nightmare now. And he is really trapped. That LMG of Finka going to be holding him there. Can he get the shot? He does. P. Loudy going to be trying to pull this off. It would be a 1v3 clutch situation. He has the 2 hard breachers to go up against in just around 25 seconds to get it done.
Either try to sneak into construction here to get a pick onto someone, or potentially jump out of the CCTV window, which at most will net him 1 kill before he is refragged by Nightmare. He's going to try to get a ninja defuse before Angel and Nightmare both pounce on him at once and take a 4th comfortable round for Outlast.
I don't really think it was that comfortable. It was more of a slugfest in the first 3 rounds, that's for sure.
They did win, though.
Yeah, they did win. But still, it came down to a 3v3 and then ultimately a 1v3 clutch. So they weren't cruising through the site like they had before. And again, Rowe was able to get the opening pick again. But we're going to be going back down here to the basement, try to get things done once again. It just kind of seems like no matter what Lev does, they just cannot contain what Outlast is bringing here. You know, we saw the opening picks, we saw the man advantage. They had positioning, they had everything that they needed in that last round, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough. We're going to be going back here to this more room-style defense, and I don't really know if that's going to work out for them. They're going to have to play heavy pressure around the kitchen area to make sure that they don't get that drop-off. That's what killed them in round number 1. The ace of Nightmare was able to just drop, and speaking of Nightmare and dropping things, 11 kills currently, highest on anybody in the team, first one in double digits, going absolutely insane, playing mainly hard breach, which is not really something you see.
I would also like to point out that those 11 kills were accrued over the course of 5 rounds, which means he's gotten just over 2 kills per round, which is kind of nuts. And undoubtedly one of the reasons that Leviathans are as down bad as they are right now is when you have someone who's on that much of a tear with the AK-12 in their hands, making them go away is very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare, that AK-12 is absolutely disgusting. It's going to be seeing a little bit of a change here next season. I think the 2.0 sight is being removed and it's getting the 1.5 instead, but it doesn't really matter when you have aim like that. However, Nightmare is actually going to be taking a ton of damage here. Going to see a little bit of a Finka boost to get him back up and into the fight. That looked like that was coming from the main stairs area. So that's from Waffle using that UMP. Jabrock, though, he's going to be able to take out Tomato and make things into the man count for Leviathans. Once again, 3 rounds in a row. Opening pick going to Lev.
It's also Jabrock's first pick, and if he's able to get into this game even a little bit, that will really help Lev. That being said, though, P. Loudy is going to be taken out by Hidoy, and the realm for Leviathans is on its kind of last stage here. Is Nightmare is almost going to die, but he's going to take out Waffle, being an ever-present nightmare in the attempted dreams of Leviathan's defense half, as most of the top floor that Outlast want, if not all of it, is taken, and bar hatch is already open for them with nothing to protect the other 2, with 2 hard breaches on the board. So, really good positioning here if you're Outlast. They have a really good chance to take this.
Yeah, they really do, and we can see Sledge doing some work there from that top master room, an absolutely insane angle, and the ability to have those extended zoom sights on the rifles of the attackers is really going to put him in an advantage there. We saw the vigil of Rowe trying to fire back, and well, when you can look further through your beams, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. Spud, he's going to be doing some construction work here as he's opening things up, going to get the hatch into blue. Jabrock, though, right there waiting for him, as now the hatch and kitchen gets opened up. 3v4 situation here, and Nightmare's on 1 health. I don't know if Finka doesn't have any boosts left. I'm not quite sure, or if they're just saving it. Angelo, he's going to be able to take out Rowe and put things in a 4v2 with 15 seconds left.
Angel's going to try to make his way into church here, but he is going to be felled by Chu. And Shu's gonna try to hold on for the next 10 seconds here to try to keep that diffuser from being picked up or planted, but it will be all for naught as Nightmare runs around the corner and shuts him down before the clutch can truly begin. That is one of the things that I was saying Leviathans really don't want, with that being the 5-1 half, which isn't a flawless half from Outlast, but it does put you in a really tricky situation, as you have to play essentially flawlessly for 5 rounds just to guarantee overtime, and for 6 to take it in regulation.
Yeah, things not looking good for Leviathans. But, as we said, Outlast has won 5-1 attack, which means it can be done, which means the Leviathans can do it as well. So, definitely not out of the woods yet, but they're going to have to turn things around here. They're going on to attack now. Maybe things are a little bit different. Leviathans do tend to really have really great attacks. It's also the first map of the series. So, you know, maybe they're just getting warmed up. They might not have got enough key hunts in beforehand to be able to get warmed up. But we're going to see a little bit of a roam coming out here from Outlast as well. Not quite the same as the Leviathans were putting up, but it's very close, as you are going to still have the castle coming out here. But the first time we're going to be seeing Angel playing on the Kaid. First time he's going to be brought in, so it's going to make hatches a little bit harder to open up. If you didn't have, oh look, it's everybody's famous, or favorite, hello there fellow operators, Thatcher. Coming out to play, he's finally able to join the other members of Team Rainbow and have a little bit of fun.
So the interesting thing about neither Cade nor Thatcher being banned is that the defense normally doesn't want to bring Thatcher because he's Cade because he'd be countered by the Thatcher. And the attack doesn't want to bring Thatcher unless there's going to be a Cade on the board. And so essentially, what Outlast have done here, most likely intentionally, is they have forced Leviathans to dedicate an entire operator to the Thatcher when they normally wouldn't have to. Which, depending on how flexible their attack lineup is, could throw a wrench into things. Or it might just be, oh well, different man with gun in the lineup, but it really could actually mess with them.
It 100% could, you know, and as you said, when operators are banned out all the time, you know, you don't really play with them, you don't practice with them. Mira is another one. You'll see a lot of times where Mira will be banned out and all the time, and all of a sudden Hadoy takes out Jabak, so it doesn't matter. Thatcher off the board, Waffle going to be taking a ton of damage as well. Oh, and he's in that smoke too as the Monty. He's going to have to back out very quickly. He does. Just a sliver of health. Finka's going to go down now too, as Hadoy's going to get another one. P. Loudy going to be getting one onto Nightmare, though, on that knock. Able to get a little bit of stealth work done. Spudsack, though, going to be doing a ton of damage. UMP through the pull wall. Rotating now over towards the bathroom.
Loudy's going to try to nade this bathroom in order to kill him, but nothing is going to come out of it as he's not in the bathroom. She was going to get a pick on the Waffle, interestingly enough, which puts Leviathans in a 4v2. Spudsack is still in his position inside of Strip Club, which he's going to use to kill Loudy, leaving just Chu left in a 1v4 here. He's going to start at the bathroom in hopes that someone will peek him and give him a free pick, but no one is yet. He knows that there is a player in bathroom, but the castle just opts to sit and wait. Let the pick come to you. And neither team ends up actually getting the picks. They both seem to whiff their pre-fires here, but with only 30 seconds left to kill 4 people, it really looks bad for Chu.
Yeah, this is not looking great. Thermite, an operator, not exactly known for the fragging potential. They are a hard breacher. The X55 or the 556 XI though, a fantastic gun, does hit hard, but with 30 seconds left and 4 bodies to find, and all of them pretty much at full health except for Tomato, things would be very difficult. Leviathan's probably treating this as like a pseudo tactical timeout here, kind of talking things over, because you mentioned flawless siege. Well, now it has to happen. They don't have a choice, right? They're going to go down 6-1 here. They have to play flawlessly now. There is no more, you know, there's no more mulligans. There's no more whoopsie daisies. If they screw up one more time, we'll be going to map 2, and Outlast is going to be having a 1 map advantage moving into map 2, putting them even closer to tomorrow's grand finals.
Another factor that I think we should be considering here that could be playing to Leviathan's mentals is that they're playing like this in comparison to how Outlast is playing, and they don't have a tactical timeout. like, they don't have something to fall on, to have an outside voice come in and calm the nerves and set everyone straight. But Outlast do. If Outlast start bleeding rounds, they can just say, hey, coach, what are we doing wrong? And their coach can come in and just talk to them and make sure that things are set straight. But Lev can't do that. And it's really something that's probably going to play on their minds, especially given how poorly these last few rounds have gone for them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Outlast is really the team that's going to determine whether Leviathans get to talk to their coach again this map or not. And like you said, unless Outlast starts really bleeding out rounds here, I don't really see them calling a tactical timeout. They've been playing fantastically the entire match. I mean, where you have Nightmare up to 13 kills now, kind of really carrying the team. Hadoy in second with 7 kills. You have Angel, Spud, and Tomato kind of rounding out the pack, all very close at 3 and 4 apiece. But I mean, sometimes that just happens, right? Sometimes you just get teammates that have more kills than the other one. But let's not forget, they're getting drones, they're getting all kinds of callouts and information. So just because you're not showing up in the kill column doesn't mean you're not contributing. And when the score line is 6-1 right now, everyone on Outlast is contributing, and they are playing fantastic Siege right now.
Oftentimes you'll have a player or two that isn't getting kills simply because there are no kills to get, which is the case here, as Nightmare killed everyone that he saw on the attacking half, getting like 12 or 13 kills in that time. So there's not really a whole lot of room for Tomato or Angel to pick someone up, but they did win the gunfights that they needed to. They won the gunfights that they were supposed to, and that's what matters. Speaking of gunfights, Tomato is taken out by Ro, and we do have a successful Cade trick coming out here, so one less thermite charge for Leviathans to play around with here.
Yeah, that's gonna come back to bite him a little bit in the butt. They still do have the ace. Ro, though, he's on a rampage. He's tired of losing that Finka boost. Gonna save him a little bit, but Spud gonna be able to put one right between his eyeballs and take him out. 2 members down, though. That's gonna be Hadoy and Tomato. The smoke is off the board, and that's pretty big. That's gonna be your main plant denial here. There is 1 Nitro on the board, and that is gonna be in the hands of Angel, the Kaed. We're going to see some depth charges coming out here from P. Loud. He will be able to get one. Oh, he's going to do a little bit of damage, but not quite enough. Just a little bit to the right. Good try there. Probably no drones either to give some pings. That would have been a little bit more helpful. Now they're going to have to fight through this hatch and see what they can get done.
Even with a grenade not killing anyone, it does take out the shield that is by Bathroom, which is arguably as good as killing a player in some circumstances, as it's that much less cover that Outlast have to play with. Spudsack is going to experiment with the idea of going for a peek onto the highway window, which could net a very valuable kill here, but no! Waffle gets a beautiful turn, leaving Nightmare in a 1v3. He's able to get the first pick, and he has a decent bit of room to work with here inside of construction, but is it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic flick there from Waffle, being able to take out the Malusi in CC. This is the man on the plan, though. This is the guy you want in the job here to get this done. It's Nightmare. 14 kills currently. Unfortunately, Waffle's going to shut him down. And it wasn't perfect, but that was pretty damn close. A fantastic turnaround there coming out for Leviathans. Ro getting 2 big picks there with the Finka and putting them back onto the board here. They're still not out of the woods by any means. It is still 6-2, and we're going to be going back to Gym Bedroom for round 9. But a spark and a glimmer of hope still shines for Leviathans here in map 1.
I do agree with you there. It wasn't flawless, but it was the best we've seen from Leviathan so far, and they did indeed get to that point with coordination and off of a little bit of a hero play from Ro. However, it does look like Outlast is making a significant effort to really evolve this strategy and switch things up. So Leviathans are going to have to find something else that'll work against this now instead of doing the same thing again. Which they might not have been going to do the same thing again, but they're going to have to change something up regardless, perhaps in a way they didn't want.
Yeah, Leviathans, I mean, I agree with you. I think they're going to have to change up something a little bit, because I do believe Outlast will be changing what they're doing here. There's no Kaed on the board. We're going to see the deployable shield there put down to help protect against any grenades. I'm sure there's going to be an ADS or 2 there as well, since Hadoy is on the Jaeger, but we'll have to wait and see what happens and see if they can be able to get this down. Only one bandit charge, I believe, being placed. No, two have been placed down. Getting that whole wall electrified. But again, with the new change to bandit, you're able to put multiple batteries on single walls, so it makes bandit tricking a little bit easier. Thatcher is on the board with Jabrock, but it looks like they're not even trying to go to that outside. As Nightmare going to be able to get one peel out. He gets one onto Spud, but Nightmare is going to be able to get two. As he finishes off Jabrock, Wall going to be opened up, and Waffle right there to pick him off as well. Quickly going from a 5v5 to a 3v3 in about the span of 15 seconds.
With a very strange exchange of people, as that garage push was ill-fated to begin with, is I'm sure many people can attest. Trying to take a gunfight with the player on rafters from the garage door is a bit like trying to win a gladiator contest with a rotten fish. Sure, go ahead, but don't. And we do see the Finka get taken off the board as well, which is not the operator you want to lose before she's had an opportunity to use any of her utility. And it's also Ro playing that operator, who is the best single performer for Leviathans in this match. And he is no longer on the board when you really need him to be in these crucial rounds.
Yeah, I think, I mean, she brings so much, which is why there's such a high level of controversy around her as an operator. We're going to see Hidoy, though, get taken out by Waffle Pilati right there. Not going to be able to get the kill finished off, but there it is. Tomato going to be able to get it done. 2v2, and 2v1 now is Chu. Going to be able to come in and get it done. Angel sees the head of one of the Leviathans players. Going to be firing him through MP7 in hand, but not be able to get it done. Chu trying to work his way into bathroom here. Pilati going to be throwing a grenade into the bathroom, or the gym area. But he's there. Angel sitting right outside the bathroom, has this angle. If Pilati steps out any further, he will be able to get the shot. But I think Chu here might be trying to just wait and sneak in once they can figure out where this bandit is and get this plant off.
Angel does have a really good position to win this round here, as they aren't quite sure where he is, and that gives him a very valuable element, as he's able to surprise his victims, but it doesn't work, as Pilati's able to pick him off, and get Leviathans their second round in a row, and their third total.
I mean, okay.
Bro.
Let's kind of talk about it a little bit, because you mentioned fighting in top rafters. It was a little bit odd, especially because when the person playing top rafters is the best player in the lobby using one of the best guns on defense, the MP5 with a 1.5 sight on it. It's one of the best guns. It has negative recoil. You actually have to push up because of how the recoil works on that weapon. It's such a good gun in the hands of such a good player. And you're thinking, screw it. Let's just send 3 bodies at him and see what happens. Well, what happens is you lose 2 of them and put yourself at a deficit. But the Leviathans were able to bounce back and put it into a 2v1 and end up clutching out the round there. A fantastic play coming out from the Leviathans. But I don't know what happened there. Outlast has lost 2 in a row, and they really haven't had control in either one of those rounds. Yes, again, Nightmare had those 2 really opening picks. But other than that, things were pretty much all Leviathans that round. They were able to swing it back and eventually end up picking up the win. We are going to be going down to the church now, and we're going to see this extended roam that we've seen pretty much all game long from both teams. But I got to tell you, Lev, they're really starting to click now. And as soon as I say that, Caster's Curse, I am so sorry, Ro, as you are the first to fall. That will be the Finka off the board as Angel getting the opening pick.
He's died, I believe, is the opening pick twice in a row now, so a little bit iffy there. It's an issue that has been plaguing him as a player throughout basically the entirety of Xenon, to my understanding, and this round is no different. Pilati is going to try to pick up that entry role and get in through lounge side, hoping to pick someone off with the utility that he has as Nook. But it will all be for naught, as it appears, as they are going for a full clear of the entire map, including the top floor. More costly in terms of time, but definitely better in terms of safety.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to, right? I mean, look at where Outlast is. They're all over the map. You've got 3 or 4 of them sitting inside of the bar here. And not only do you have 3 or 4 of them, you've got Nightmare with them as well. as well as Hadoy. So two very, very good guns. The #1 and #2 kill leader on the team. Then you got Spudsack sitting inside the pool table. And I believe also you had somebody playing near the main stairs as well there for a little bit. So they're all kind of stacked up here in this area. And they're like, hey, look, you know what? We got the min advantage. You're down under halfway through the map, or the round now. You got to come to us. You have to. You don't have a choice. And Hadoy here going to be able to shoot that drone, and we'll get spotted out. But yeah, we have Outlast here just absolutely taking it to the Leviathans. And as soon as I say that, P. Loudy, he's going to be able to swing through and get himself a kill and top the man count. But look at the clock. Less than a minute left. They've got to start moving.
They really do, especially with Spudsack being in the position that he's in. It does look like someone is on his way to dispatch him, but he was really scary in this position the previous time Leviathans tried to attack this site. And it looks like this time is no different, as Waffle knows where he is and he knows he wants him out. But he's having a hard time doing so until he does get it done, which does put the man count in the Leviathan's hands.
Yeah, but with only 30 seconds left here, they really, really have to get moving, and we still have quite an arsenal of weapons to deal with. Nightmare on the board as well. Tomato, he's got that shotgun in hand. Smoke canisters out to stop the drop there. We're going to see it happen anyway. Nightmare is actually going to go down to Chew. That's going to put things in a little bit of an advantage. Now it's 2v3. Tomato swinging with that SAS shotgun, doing a ton of damage in the smoke. And that's all going to have to come down to the low health of Chew on the thermite. Oh no, he could have had the kill, but Tomato gonna have an absolutely stellar round and win it for his team. Outlast gonna win this one big on map 1 Clubhouse, their pick. But now we do have to go to Skyscraper for map 2. It's not over, ladies and gentlemen. This is a best of 3, so we do still have some time here to try to get everything figured out. But oh boy, Ali, Outlast, looking just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And one thing I would kind of like to comment on that I think is an interesting aspect of the game as well is that with the fact that within 7 rounds, Outlast got themselves in a position where they were on match point, even though they bled 3 rounds in a row, it didn't matter because they knew in the back of their heads, we have the site that we've already won in our back pocket, and the rounds to spare. There's a 5-round difference. But with that being said, we are going to go to a short break to get the next map ready and to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Please stick around. We should be back shortly.
Close through the night, I won't let go until the sunrise. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Wave goodbye to your city life, and say hello to the desert sky. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape, let's escape. Let's escape.
welcome back to the Xenon Gaming Series lower bracket final. I am once again joined by Crisis as we're about to cast the second map of Leviathans versus Outlast. And man, let me tell you, that first map was something, wasn't it? I mean, everyone predicted Lev, and Lev didn't really do much. It was like the meme of the guy poking the rock with a stick.
Let me tell you, whoever betted on Outlast on your channel points, congratulations. Because
Big
you
ball
all
in
you
the
all
upper
just
tax bracket, as a friend would say.
made out like absolute bandits. Don't forget to pay your point tax later on. Outlast just looked fantastic in that map. Leviathans kind of looked a little bit lost. Hopefully they can bring it back here. This is going to be their map, and this is their niche map. This is kind of like their one that they keep in the pocket, and that is going to be Skyscraper. This is the map Leviathans are undefeated on so far here in Xenon. They haven't really been able to be challenged much. Hopefully we can see them pick it up here, and we can go to a map 3, which would be Villa. I would love to see it. I don't know if you would love to see it, Allie. Maybe you have something very important to do, but I'm sure our fans would love to see it. And speaking of our fans, thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's get up to 200 views so Battery has to wear a maid outfit. Knock going to be the first one banned out here by Outlast.
Oh, that's weird. Or not weird, actually. No, I like that ban. Especially with the way that Leviathans are playing their attack last game, a lot of the picks that they got that led to round wins were Pilotti playing as the Nox. They decided just to take that off the board, don't let him do that. Flores being banned next by the Leviathans. Not as common for this map, but clearly there's something they know that we don't, and I don't mind the ban anyways, which is going to be followed up by a Valkyrie who is more or less self-explanatory as yellow ping on cam bad.
Yellow ping on cam goes burr almost as much as LMGs do, if you honestly think about it. But the problem with a map like Skyscraper, and I bring it up every time I cast a map like Chalet, is that there's so many nooks and crannies that you can throw a Valkyrie camera into, and it makes it very, very hard to find them. Same thing with like a Zero cam, which is why you'll see Zero banned out a lot on maps like Chalet, and again here as well on Skyscrapers. So I'm absolutely not surprised by the Valkyrie ban, or the Mira ban for that matter. The Flores one, you said it, it's a little bit odd on a map like this. Normally, Clubhouse would have been a map where you would have seen a Flores ban. The knock ban, yeah, P. Loudy was able to do some serious work on attack with that, and with all the stairs and all the sneaky ways to be able to get through, sure, why not just kind of take it off the board. We will be starting here on the defense for Outlast. They're going to be playing in the office area. This is kind of the site that teams will go back and forth with the tea room and karaoke site. So an operator that you really do have to watch out for here, though, is that Frost of Spudsack. Lots of windows to be hopping through, lots of things to jump over. This is a map where Frost can really, really thrive and be strong. And even if that Frost mat doesn't catch somebody, it takes their attention away. They have to look down whenever you're hopping through something. So just an operator to be able to really kind of make teams hesitate a little bit, almost like a cap can, right? You got to be checking doorways, or you got to be checking windows when you're hopping through.
I especially like that one of the Frost maps was placed behind the minibar, as it's not an area that you'd expect a Frost map to be in, but an area where you can almost certainly guarantee that someone from Leviathans is going to try to take it at some point. And so them standing on that Frost mat will be really awkward when the execute goes down. The wall is going to get opened pretty much immediately here by on the Thermite, who's then going to open the office wall as well. So really good progress being made, but again, only step one.
Yeah, step one accomplished. Step two, though, going to be a little bit harder. We could see that Claymore was actually being jammed up by Tomatoes and U-Jammer there on that window, which means if somebody decides to be a little bit spicy and hop out, they will not be taken out. Speaking of being taken out, though, Hadoy, he will be dropped early, and it's going to be the Thorn just sitting there, not able to finish off the kill. But there it is, Row. Grenade to be able to finish things off. Maestro has now moved over to the drum, Auda in hand. holding the angle here from Geisha. I do believe the drone probably will spot him out. Proxy back in on this game. He missed last game, but he's back. Row going to be able to do some damage. Nightmare going to be able to finish off P. Loudy. Put things in a 3v4 with 1:20 left.
Good stuff from Leviathans here, especially from Rel, and from Shu. He's able to pick off Spud Sack, leaving only Nightmare and Tomato to defend this site, with Nightmare being off-site and now dead, although he does get a proxies for his troubles. Tomato's in an effective 1v3 here for the next minute, which does give Leviathans tons and tons of time to get into the site and work it, especially given that they do have a decent chunk of utility left. He almost gets the knife onto Waffle, but it does not work out as Waffle is not positioned where he thinks it is.
It's a little bit interesting that they would choose to try to go up for a kill there. The Jaeger had backed all the way down the stairs and could have gotten picked up. You could have put things in a 2v2, yes, or a 3v2, excuse me, yes. Jaeger would have only been on 20 health, but it's another gun in your hands on the defense. So a little bit of an interesting choice, and that they choose to go in with the SMG-11, the shotgun at that close of a range. We all know that that shotgun is basically an anime gun. The more you believe in it, the stronger it hits. So it's just a little bit surprising there. Maybe a little bit of trolling was coming out. As you said, it was effectively a 3v1. However, the Leviathan have left, apparently, Clubhouse in the dust because they have played so much better already. I'm pretty sure that's the best round they've played all night, and that is including Clubhouse. So it's good to see them back in form here on their map as they are going into now a kitchen attack. We're going to see a heavy roam, though, on the defense. As we're going to have 3 members currently of Outlast playing upstairs.
We are. And we're going to see the ever-present Hidoi on the Alibi, which is an operator that has seen a bit of a resurgence as people realize that her gun goes burr good. So she's taken quite a bit when you want a shield and the gun without wanting to bring the smoke. We're also going to see Nightmare roaming upstairs on the Bandit, which is going to be met with Waffle getting an opening pick onto him within the first 30 seconds without taking significant damage himself. So already off the bat, Leviathans are doing way better than they were before, especially in the department of opening picks without getting trades.
Not only not taking a ton of damage, the Finka boost right there to boost them back up to just under full health. Sledge being one of those 2 armor operator has 110 health. He's sitting at about 95 right now, which is pretty much full health. Row though, excuse me, is going to take all of the health from Hidoi as he's going to put an LMG round straight through his face. It's going to be your alibi off the board. MX4 Storm is good, but LMG is better. We're going to see Proxies and Row here now be coming through, trying to take out this shield in the Dragon area. Angel, though, going to be able to take out Waffle, and that's going to be a big pick because that's the Sledge off the board. We're going to see Tomato here with that shotgun holding the very close angle. The grenade is going to flush him out. He's going to hop up on this little landing, though, a very sneaky spot. Let's see if he can capitalize off of it.
If he is drowned out here, it is most likely a death sentence, or not even a death sentence, just gonna have to fall off. And he does fall off. So Leviathans have done a really good job taking the map so far and getting the men they need, but there are some unaccounted factors, mainly Tomato inside of the kind of stage area, trying to take some gunfights with P. Loudy to knock him off kilter.
Yeah, but P. Loudy, he's instead just going to rappel all the way up and kind of swing in and start making this push. We're going to see Spud sitting there with that UMP in hand, holding the long angle with the 1.5. Chu was trying to get the wall open, but it does appear that it is charged up with a bandit battery, which means they're not going to be able to open up into Geisha. This is a rather unfortunate situation, as now they're going to have to push through a bunch of tiny doorways and halls. And Tomato has completely relocated to the bottom of those stairs. SAS shotgun in hand. By the way, the site is downstairs. They're taking a lot of time to clear here in this top floor. We've only got 25 seconds left.
Less than 30 seconds to not only clear out the black stairs, but also execute onto the site, take all the ground you need, and kill all the people that you need dead. We're entering the final 15 seconds of the round here, as they're going to go for a Hail Mary drop down to the kitchen hatch, which is going to lead to Angel killing off 2 people and almost a third here, as the ace narrowly escapes his grasp before it ends up actually killing him, leading us to a 1v1 between Tomato and Chu, and my tongue getting so tied. So tied. It's like Mad Libs again.
Well, given how many people died within about a 5-second span, I'm pretty sure everybody will forgive you for having a little bit of a tongue twister there that happened. It's mind-boggling. I am casting the match, Ali, and I forgot that Sight was downstairs. They're taking so much time to clear off upstairs, and I'm like, oh, you can just walk in and plant. Everybody's pushed off. Oh, wait, no, you can't, because the Sight's underneath you. They took so much time to clear that top floor. There was no time left to do anything. And Angel, sitting there with that AUG in hand, was able to get 2 off the drop. Did almost manage to get the 3rd, but had to switch to that revolver and wasn't quite able to get it done. Outlast going to be bouncing back, though, and tying things up. And I don't really know what Lev was thinking. They're usually a lot more coordinated than that. They were a lot more coordinated than that on the first round of their attack. And I'm hoping that they don't slip back into a little bit of an issue, looking kind of lost, because in that round they just took way too much time.
Caster's Curse is ever prevalent, and I think we may have inadvertently given it to Leviathans with how much praise we gave them for the first round of this game, as it was significantly better than anything we saw out of them on Clubhouse, but it was also only the first round, and things can change very quickly. And we also, it's also entirely just possible that Outlast is one of the teams that takes a round or two to feel out their opponents before they really are able to truly grasp how they're going to play. And given that Skyscraper is a bit more of a niche map, that might just be what's going on here.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of the blessing and the curse of a map that isn't played very often, right? Where you're both kind of at your disadvantages. Speaking of disadvantages, high ground to be damned. P. Loudy's going to be taking out Angel for the first kill of the round. Pretty good timing as well, as it's only a minute in, and now see Leviathan start to take some actual map control here. Nightmare's going to be boarding up a window. Hadoy sitting there holding in what used to be the old garden area. That Azami in play, but Waffle going to be taking him out with a Ace 12. AK-12. Wow, Ace's AK-12. Now I'm doing it. Proxy's going to be able to take out Tomato. Minute 40 left. Things looking real good for the Leviathans.
A little more than very good here is there are only 2 people left, and one of them doesn't have any kills, even on the round that Outlast won here, and they have a minute and 30 seconds left to dislodge 2 people with their 5. They can essentially just trade their way to victory here, as long as they actually are able to get the trades, and as long as Ro doesn't do that. It's only 1 kill, but it is 1 less body that Outlast have to worry about, and certainly a good body to not have to worry about, is Ro has been really good throughout these first couple rounds.
He has, and not just that, you're taking the Finka off the board, which a late push could be helpful. Spud, you're going to be able to get one on a P. Loudy, first one of the game here. So, must have heard you, got the stream up, big fan, big fan. And Spud's actually going to be taking a lot of damage. Nightmare picking right back up where he left off on Clubhouse. Waffle going to be able to take out Spud, and now it's a 2v1. The head of the Jaeger sticking up over top of the stairs. An unfortunate situation where it's just siege thing, man. The timing, a fantastic play by Waffle to be able to hop up there and get that angle. Probably heard Nightmare drop, and Leviathans looked way better attacking that site. It seems like when they know where the site is, Ali, they're very good at actually attacking it.
It does, and I think one of the things with that site as well is that it's 1 floor that they have to take. Sure, they did take the bottom floor to do some vert play, but they didn't have to spend a whole bunch of time clearing out some that was heavily defended and then go to the site, which also definitely really helped them there. Although it was... I was a little bit worried watching that 2v5. Not gonna lie, as Leviathans threw more bodies than Tic Tacs, so really concerning, but they did ultimately pull it back in the end. But that's the kind of stuff that's going to be exploited tomorrow in the grand finals, as well as tonight in the lower bracket finals.
Yeah, exploitation of mistakes is huge. We're at the point now to where you're talking the first, second, and third place teams are the ones playing over the next 2 days here. All 3 of these teams that we will be seeing have earned their spots here, right? There are no bad teams left in the brackets at this point. So if you make mistakes, and we saw Leviathans make a ton of them on Clubhouse, and we saw Outlast really pick up on that. Now we're seeing Outlast kind of make some mistakes, but as soon as I say that, Spud, he's going to make up for a little bit of a mistake there and going to take out Waffle. A little bit of revenge from the last round, getting a nice little spawn peek deep. That's going to be your sledge off the board. So grenades and soft destruction, no longer a thing. They do still have grenades on Row, of course. They'll be able to do a little bit of damage there. We're going to see an EMP come through and open up now this Selma charge. P. Loudy and Row here to look into the angles and try to get some damage done. Wow.
I have no clue what was just said because I was grabbing a thing for my bleeding nose, which is not able to handle all of the excitement that is currently happening. But we do have a wall that is open, as well as some angles that are come along with it, and Keeper Berry's blocking stuff up. So good times so far, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we were able to get the walls open, and it was a good time. Nothing else has really happened much since then, though, as everyone has kind of just fallen back a little bit. Hadoy on this Izami just keep replacing the Kiba barriers, and that's one of the hardest things to deal with in Siege at the moment. It almost feels like we're back in the utility dump meta, the old castle barricades, but one way to deal with it is just swing up as impact grenades come out and Row. Going to be able to get the kill after Hadoy tries to swing. A little bit of a Finka boost to get some health back, but going to be taken out from long range. Fortunately, because they had just hit the Finka boost, not going to be able to pick themselves back up. However, they were not finished off, so a teammate might be able to pick them up. Yes, there we go. Row will be picked up and back in the fight. Be able to put himself back in just a few seconds. Smoke canister coming out from Tomato. Going to be blocking off that hallway. Less than a minute left, and Leviathans kind of falling into their old trap of just not being able to manage their time quickly enough, as we're down to 45 seconds and a push has to come.
I think a big part of this as well is also that Leviathans are having to take a lot more ground than just the off side of the map, as they've taken other ground before, but not like when it was super heavily defended and contested. And Chu is going to jump in and get a quick pick onto Angel, followed by Roxy's getting picked on the Tomato, which is then followed by Nitro on the Row, and oh dear God. Alright.
Everyone died.
Nightmare 1v2. Only 15 seconds left. He has a really good chance of winning this if he can just play his cards right. He is in a good position as he's going to get the first pick onto the ace. And then the Twitch reveals the location that she is in. And M590 1v2 clutch. Beautifully played.
Yeah, fantastic play there coming out from the leading frag master of Nightmare for Outlast. It's the time management that's killing me here, Ali. Leviathans are looking so good. They're taking up so much real estate. It's almost to the point to where it's free real estate, but they're taking so long to do it. And then there's 15 seconds left, and they've got to rush onto site. And who do you have to face in this 1v2? Oh, only the guy who's already got 7 kills through 4 rounds. Like,
Leviathans are, like you said, taking for real estate, but the moment that there's someone with, like, a shotgun saying, "Get off my lawn," they start quivering in their boots. They start getting scared, which I'm not sure if it's an intentional, like, we can't let these guys, like, get super aggressive on us kind of thing, but, like, by sitting around and being passive, you're giving Outlast so much room to work with, and they are the type of team that will take that ground and then turn it into a mile every single time.
Well, especially on attack, right? If you want to be a little bit more passive on defense, that's fine. Because defense has that 6th defender, right? The clock. When you're on attack, you can't take your time like that. You know, we used to kind of make fun of it. The meme was the old Vitality strat, right? The 20-second meta, where they would rush in a 5v5 with 20 seconds left, and it would just be a bloodbath. And we're kind of seeing the same things here coming out from Leviathans. Like you said, if they have to take more than one room on this map, they're just taking up so much time. When they are attacking the site directly, they're getting in and they're getting the kills that they need to get done. I just don't understand what's happening on these other sites, because when they're attacking the office, Ali, they look fantastic. They look like the best team in Xenon. When they're attacking literally any other site, they just look lost.
It is it is a very strange state to see Leviathans in, as I've casted them multiple times throughout Xenon, and stuff like that keeps happening where 2 of them die in like a second, and we're not even 2 minutes into the round, and most of Lev are already dead. There are some kills that come out here from Row, but it's ultimately going to be Pilotti having to clutch, and this is yet another clutch situation that Leviathans have been forced into, and one that is really bad for them.
Luckily for P. Loudy, he has a ton of time left, right? A minute and a half in Siege is kind of an eternity. Site has almost cleared out entirely as they have split up, and we don't really have one playing on the site. I do believe the Wamai is actually playing just a little bit off site. And no, he's actually is on site. Okay, so now Angel and Hadoy are pretty much right beside each other on the other side. We're going to see some red pings come out here, and Hadoy going to fling some bullets down range, but not able to connect with anything. All 3 members left on the board at full health, so we're going to have to see some actual damage done here as P. Loudy's going to start sneaking his way in sight. Doesn't even have a case either, so he's going to have to push for kills here.
He is certainly going to have to do so, and it seems like he has an inkling as to where the remaining 2 defenders are, but it's going to be hard to do anything with that, as if he steps on and kills one, he's undoubtedly going to get killed by the other, as we have Angel rotating around to barbecue in an effort to pinch with Hidoy, as Pilotti has to go for the plant here. They just start chucking utility at him just to waste that much more time. He is going to get a beautiful shot onto Angel, leaving just Hidoy here to prevent this clutch. He's almost going to go down, but ultimately he's going to be shot in the back of the foot. Is just that enough is exposed for Hidoy to get his first pick of the game.
I also believe the impact grenade did hit. So P. Loudy was on. He had taken a few shots of damage from the Wamai, take a little bit more damage from the impact. Because he was planting, we weren't able to see how much health he had left because of the actual diffuser timer, or the plant timer, excuse me. But he could not have had much health left. That 9x19, while it is a very good gun, it doesn't do a ton of damage. And he was able to drop P. Loudy pretty quickly there, and with limb shots as well. So it's a little bit hard to say exactly where he was. What we can say, though, again, it's the same old story, just kind of told in a different fashion. You know, it's Leviathans taking way too long to get things done, but this time they took way too long because everyone died.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, you know, and it's like you said, Leviathans, sometimes that just happens to them, right? They try to rush in, and unfortunately, you know, you sledge the barricade, you use the Gon 6 to take out the castle barricade. Oh no, there's Nightmare sitting there. Oh, and there's also Hidoy. Oh, and there's literally the rest of Outlast. Yeah. It's an unfortunate situation for Leviathans, but they can bring it back.
Given how well he's performing, it's less of Nightmare, more Nightmare, as we're only 7 rounds in, and he's gotten 8 kills, and I believe he was either encroaching on or had hit 15 in the previous game with only 10 rounds being actually played. So, if he is the one that's staring down the barrel of your gun after you try to make a hero play and rush into the site, you are just part of a montage at that point, and it's best that you accept it.
Yeah, I mean, a stat, though, that's a little bit more impressive. You said through 7 rounds. It's actually only been 5 rounds, and he's gotten 8 kills. Oh. So he's been doing absolute work here, and once again, just kind of the man to watch. Nobody has really been that counterpart on Leviathans, right? They're all kind of even right now. There hasn't been a member of the team to be able to kind of pick up and put the team on their shoulders, which is something we actually kind of applauded Leviathans for being able to do. Was anybody could do that. And speaking of anybody doing anything, Waffle, he's going to put some shots into the man himself, Nightmares. He's going to scamper off to try to live another day. He's going to give a ping out to let his team know where they are. We're going to get in a zombie barricade there, actually, into Dragon. Good teamwork coming out there from Outlast Row. Going to have to pump himself back up with a little bit of the nano juice as he's going to be moving into this area. Waffle, and a lot of damage himself. So a little bit of chunk damage coming out for both teams. No casualties as of yet, but the clock ticking down, a minute 15 left. Leviathans struggling once again with time management.
It is the ever-present thing that is haunting Leviathans throughout every round of this attack half so far, is when they're able to take ground quickly, they look good, and other times Row is getting shut down by the man of the hour, as trades do go back and forth, but it does take some time for things to fall back into a favorable position for Leviathans.
Yeah, Leviathan's going to be able to tie things back up here into a 3-3. Health is a little bit worse for wear on their side, and Row is off the board, so no Finka boosts to bring that back up. Proxies, he's going to be taken out by Angel. Very nice shot coming out there from the MP7. A little bit of a range on that one, too, through a soft wall, so fantastic work. Chew, he's going to try to be getting this thing open. I believe Waffle actually missed the camera there. I didn't see it break unless it was a spectator bug, but it doesn't matter, as he's going to go down now to Spud. Not out all the way, but effectively, we're in a 1v3, and it's all going to come down to Chew. This has happened a few times tonight on Clubhouse as well. He's going to have to try to work his magic with 10 seconds left. Flashbang coming back through. He's going to end up flashing himself, and, well, we've all been there, but he's wriggling, writhing, not able to get it done. Tomato, shotgun in hand, able to finish it off and take Outlast to a 4-2 split on a map that the Leviathans have been so dominant on. 4, by the way, Allie, is the most rounds they've given up on Skyscraper through any of the games that they've played on it. Outlast has already hit that.
Could either like a stats guy for Xenon or someone in the chat tell me how many clutches Leviathans have been in throughout these rounds? Like, obviously,
Yes.
they're losing really badly, but like it feels like every time I'm watching near the end of the round, someone on Leviathans is having to face impossible odds to bring back around, only to get shot in the face. So, not good.
I believe the answer you're looking for, Allie, is yes.
All of them.
For how many clutch rounds?
I believe the only round that they have lost that was not a round where one of them was in a clutch round was the round where Nightmare clutched against them, which I'd say is arguably worse.
A little bit.
So, not great position for Leviathans, and interestingly, we haven't seen attack timeout come out from them, as I would guess after last map they're wanting to save it more towards the end, just so if they really start bleeding rounds, they can get something done. But after that half, something needs to change. They could do better on their own defense. That has been the more advantageous side this game, but they haven't really exhibited much, if anything, that would convince me that this is the Leviathan's redemption arc.
They really are struggling here, and Nightmare going to be playing on that 0 that I talked about earlier, a map that really does kind of play to his strengths. We're going to see it take out the Mute Jammer. So good use of the actual laser utility on the Sam Cam. Waffle playing on that alibi, falling back into Dragon. The Mozzie Pest, excuse me. Going to be stopping a little bit of droning there, but Tomato, he's now knowing where his people are, and he's going to be pushing in LMG in hand. Row and Proxy both playing here in Drum with a nice angle, playing off of that deployable shield, looking to take care of anyone who might try to just march on through Garden, but minute wasted here, and Leviathans haven't lost a body, so it's looking good for them so far. Can Outlast bring it to them?
It has seemed that playing on the defense has lended itself to Leviathan's strengths of taking free ground. So that's good for them. But I also don't really think that we've seen Outlast try to put that much pressure on the actual utility or setups yet. And I'm really curious to see what's going to happen once stuff starts going down.
We're going to see, speaking of things going down, that shield come down there. Nightmare going to be able to take care of that. And we're going to be moving in some smoke grenades coming out there to block the view of pretty much everybody in the Dragon area. Those were really, really interesting smoke grenades that went off because of those Wamai magnets. They pulled them off to that upper level, and it's kind of what we talked about earlier. They don't destroy them, they just kind of redirect them and then deploy them. Tomato looking to push in through Drum here. Don't believe he has any resistance either. We're going to see a grenade come out, though, to probably try to take care of that shield. I don't think he got it, though. I think the shield is still up, but it doesn't matter as he has now moved into the Drum stairs. Proxies. Shotgun in. Oh, no, he did get the shield, so there we go. Angel, though, going to be getting the opening pick. Waffle going to be getting a melee kill onto Nightmare, though, to tie things back up. 30 seconds left.
We're gonna see some good stuff from Leviathans. Eliminate everyone but Spudsack, who's about to rappel into the karaoke window in hopes that he can make a miracle run for this round before Chu knocks him down. And Leviathans take an actually really good, or at least passable round on their first defense, which is potentially the start that they need.
It's not going to hurt. I can tell you that much. It will help more than hurt them. And I agree with you. I do believe that the defensive side tends to kind of help Lev here, as they were struggling with that map control and that map presence. And we actually even saw it with Outlast there. So, you know, what's fair is fair. We kind of chastised Leviathans a lot for it. Outlast had 30 seconds left with pretty much all their people on the board. I think both teams had lost one player. Then 3 people died in a span of 2 seconds, and it was a 1v4 with 10-15 seconds left. So Outlast also really struggling here with time management. Maybe it's just the map, maybe it's because they're not used to playing it, but on defense, they really handled themselves well. Leviathans look super strong on their defense. So maybe it's a combination of defense too strong for map, and attackers just can't do anything about it. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. The sample size is not enough yet, Ali.
I am inclined to agree with that statement, and I do think it's possible that after that round we're going to see a little bit of a better idea of what Leviathans are going to do on their defensive half of this map and how they're going to do it, which could potentially be the thing that is needed by Outlast to really take this home. And it might also just be a simple case of Angel saying, hey, just walk in, bro. Just like walk in and kill them. Like, it worked on defense. Just do it here.
There is potential for that to work out. I mean, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So we're going to see a magnet get pulled out there and burned by the smoke canister. Could come back to hurt the attackers in the long run, but that's going to enable some frags from down below. Angel's going to be taking a little bit of damage. There's that frag from down below, the depth charge. Now the wall will be opened up, and poor Proxies crawling around on the ground. Nightmare going to get the opening pick onto him, but it was the frag grenade from, I believe, Spudsack. That only has one left in hand, that little depth charge grenade that downed Proxies. So fantastic play coming out there from Outlast.
I am 100% inclined to agree with that statement, as not only do you get the wall open with minimal utility loss to the main site, but you also kill someone in that process. So, excellent, excellent, excellent work from them. And if they can keep this going, then, well, they can probably trade themselves to victory here, but they do still have to crack the site open. Although I'm curious to see, are they going to have Leviathan syndrome, where the only site they can attack is the one they can attack the site directly?
It might be looking that way. Again, this is really the only attacking site that we saw Lev have any real progress on. Tomato is going to be repelling in here, and to be fair, just because you've opened up that outside breach does not mean you've won the round, right? We are going to see the bulletproof camera getting taken out from Tomato. Nightmare's going to take some damage from somewhere, but Spudsack, ever so deadly with his grenades, is just going to get peel out, even get traded out. Chu going to be able to get one as well. Now take it into a 3v3, and this is what we were saying. You can crack the wall, but it doesn't mean you crack the site. As Waffle going to be able to get another one as well. Waffle going to get 2. The last one alive is going to be down below. It's going to be Hadoy, going to do a ton of damage to Row, but 25 seconds left here. Waffle doing more damage, looking for another one in the round. Leviathans, short of throwing this into the Shadow Realm, will be tying things up here 4-4.
The night is still young, as there are still 10 whole seconds for Leviathans to hurl themselves at Hadoy, although it doesn't look like anyone actually wants to do it, and Hadoy is just going to jump outside and save KD and give his team an opportunity to just chill, talk for a sec.
See a little bit of friendly banter in the chat there. More rounds than the last game. Yes, indeed, Leviathans, you have passed more rounds than the last game, but let's call it what it is. Ali, that wasn't really a very high bar that they had set on Clubhouse.
Nope. It was, I can't think of a joke for that. So yeah, I'm just gonna say it. It was not a very high bar that they set, as they only won 3 rounds on a map that everyone should be fairly familiar with, which either shows a lack of practice on a very basic map, or just Outlast being built different, as the youngins like to say. Could be either one.
We are giving Leviathans a lot of flack. They were playing with a sub as well on Clubhouse, and you know, it might seem like we're bullying them a little bit, but they, even on their map where they have their full team with proxies, their attacks look pitiful, right? And we're starting to see Outlast kind of look pitiful on attack as well. So while it might seem that we're kind of bullying Leviathans a little bit here, as I previously stated, these are the top 3 teams that they're going to be playing over the next couple of days. You have to play better than this, and they are playing better right now.
One thing I'd also like to point out as well is that on the first map, with how well Outlast played and how much they took advantage of even small mistakes from Leviathans, something that in a previous game would have been something that we could have looked over or may not have even noticed, is now has like a microscope shining on it, because Outlast is taking that mistake and using it to rip the site apart and just get in.
Right.
And so obviously, like, when we see those mistakes and are now being really taken advantage of, we're gonna have to point them out more, because like that's what's happening. But we are seeing a lot of those same sins being committed by Outlast, but in different ways and by different people.
It's 2 sides of the same coin, but P. Loudy's going to be able to take out Tomato, and that's the Finka off the board. Pretty big kill here. Oh, the Nitro coming out. Will it be able to land? No, as Angel still in the garden area, but again, the Finka off the board is huge, especially taking them out so early into the round. Gonna really have to change up the potential push here, and also no healing for that last push. No surge, no supercharge, no nothing. So they're going to have to push with 1:15 left.
We're going to see Row here trying to hold an angle onto that kind of terrace dragon area, as this one, they're doing a site halt above the actual site itself, with the site being kitchen, as they're hoping to waste as much time as they can and then drop off, much like Outlast did. And it's having a similar effect, where the defense like gets a pick and then just kind of waits for the attack to do stuff, and then the attack doesn't do stuff, as we're already at about 40 seconds left, and they haven't taken above the site, which they really need to if they don't want to get pwned, especially P. Loudy is going to do that.
P. Loudy using the statistically worst gun in the game. He will be taken out, though, by Nightmare, but as you said, tick, 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 the clock is going down. 20 seconds left. It's a 3v3. Hadoy missing pretty much every single shot that was fired out there. Angel, though, will be able to take one. Chew, finally. Hadoy going to be able to take one out. It's all going to come down to Waffle. He will drop the thermite of Angel, and that is also Case down. 5 seconds left here, and all Waffle has to do is survive. No! Hadoy comes swinging through and is able to get the kill. Waffle, what are you doing, bud? All you had to do was sit there for 5 seconds.
They set up that round so perfectly. Alright, so I know we just talked about how we're bullying Leviathans, but bro, they had a 3v3 with like 15 seconds left. All you have to do at that point is exist. Just don't let your opponents take the ground that they need to get onto the site, and just exist. That's all you need to do. And yet they choose to swing in and die, leaving Waffle in a clutch, which he could have won, absolutely, and you could argue that he threw that, but he really shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
You're not wrong, but also, he knew he had Case down. Didn't obviously know where the other members of Outlast were, but the teammates could have been on cameras, there could have been something. There's a whole lot of things that could have happened to help Waffle in there. Could have just sat there, could have done any number of things. But we're also having a real caster privilege here, is being able to see everything from afar. We're not the ones actually in the game. We're not the ones doing the comms or anything like that. But it's just a little bit of a head scratcher. Yes, Leviathan should have had more people alive, but what are you gonna do?
This is entirely true. But with how well we've seen Homeland play, obviously being undefeated since they've gone into the playoffs, and with how Outlast are playing right now, these are the kinds of mistakes that are going to cost you games. And the Leviathans really need to clean up their act, or things aren't going to go well. They are defending right now a site that they've historically had better luck on, and Proxies does get an opening pick onto Spud Sack, so things are looking good for them, especially since the vert play plan that likely existed is much less viable now. But we do need to see how this round progresses.
Yeah, that buck will be taken off the board, and we're going to see what Grenade do a ton of damage to Chew, and that's going to be your smoke. The operator you do not want to lose early. Tomato going to be coming up through these black stairs. Another grenade prepped and primed in hand. Will it land anything? No. Now he can't push up the stairs either until all that smoke dissipates. Angel going to be taking a lot of damage, but Waffle will actually be getting the kill onto Tomato, and that will be the sledge off the board, so that means those black stairs will be clear. But there's a Doi on the window. The Lion got that Vector in hand, doing some serious work. But a minute 15, and they've got to... I feel like I keep saying it, but they've got to move. The attackers are just stalling out on both sides here and putting us into this low time frame. And it's mind-boggling how it keeps happening.
All of the problems that the attack keeps having can consistently be solved by just installing Just Dance on your computer, except they do actually start to get picks down, and they do take control of the site and put P-Loudy into 1v3, which he turns into 1v2. They have control of the site where they're actually going to plant. They're going to use the reinforced wall to actually get that down, as Doi does overwatch, and they're going to be able to hold a beautiful cross onto this now, as no matter where Loudy peeks from, there's going to be someone looking at him, someone aiming to get that kill, and it's only made harder by the fact that one of the people alive and defending the plant is an OSA.
OSA's not going to make it easy. No impact grenades either, is choosing to go with the Wii motion sensors. Gonna have to try to fight two big guns, and Hadoy is there to pick it up after the OSA falls, unfortunately. But Outlast, they looked better on that attack, but it's still taking them so long to get there. And quite honestly, we just talked about it again, the body's falling for Leviathan so quickly and in such a large amount is putting them into these 1vx situations that then has to happen way later than anybody wants to have it happen, right? I mean, we're on match point now. Tactical timeout was called for, but unfortunately it wasn't called in time, so we're not going to be able to get that. I don't believe this is going to be match point. They did try to save it for the end, as you mentioned, but they were not keeping an eye on the timer. So apparently even the defenders, Allie, are having a trouble keeping an eye on the timer.
Here's my controversial take for the night. I really dislike the idea of saving a tactical timeout till you're right about to lose, as on map 1, fine, typically you're expected to lose your opponent's map pick than win your own, but you're about to get knocked out of the Xenon playoffs completely, and you save the tactical timeout till the round that decides it all. Like, that's, in my opinion, a bit of an iffy decision. And they might not even get to take the timeout, as it was called too late into the pick phase, so it might not even end up happening. So Leviathans are really gonna have to play this one cautiously and just, like, survive and win. But them staying alive in late round has seemed to be a difficult task.
The timer, man. They were so close. They just waited way too long to call that tactical timeout. It could come back to bite them here. Who knows? They might end up winning, but like you said, holding it until not only you're on match point, but literally seconds from going into match point, is speaking of seconds tomato, he's going to swing through and in just a few seconds remove P. Loudy from the board and put things up into a 5v3. So he's able to also take out Roe. Leviathans looking absolutely smacked around on their map pick. And unfortunately for them, they're going to have to try to fight from behind here, tie this up.
Whatever position you want to find yourself in, especially on match point, there is a kill that comes out from proxies on the Spud Sack, though, so there is a little bit of consolation if you are Leviathans, and then Waffle's able to get another pick onto Tomato, so the ban count isn't made even again, but just barely so, and it could absolutely fall out of Leviathan's grasp just like that if they're unable to play it carefully, but the same can absolutely be said to Outlast.
Yeah, Waffle very low on health, so gonna have to be very careful what he decides to do here with this next engagement. Just kind of hanging back, trying to play those long angles with that 1.5. Chew has smoked off, I believe, what is that doorway, but right by Black Stairs and right by Sight, just kind of sitting there, hoping with that shotgun that somebody might try to push through. Angel's gonna rappel onto this outside terrace area. It's Proxies is to the main back stairs. Going to be trying to hold on as well. 45 seconds. 3v3. Things are about to get real spicy real quick.
Yeah, something like that. We do have everyone from both teams fairly split up as Angel takes quite a bit of damage somewhere off screen, and Waffle aims to get an aggressive pick onto the karaoke window, although nothing actually comes of it. Less than 30 seconds left. Angel is felled, as is Nightmare, so Hito has to win a 1v3, which is not able to win as Waffle makes sure that he can't actually get anywhere this round. So Leviathans do get their tactical timeout, and they do get another chance to take this to overtime. But they have to play more or less like they did last rounds for this next round, and for however many more rounds there are in this game. And there's also the fact that Outlast also get this chance to just sit and talk for a second.
Yeah, again, it's kind of the double-edged sword. You get to talk to your coach and figure everything else out. So does the other team. Outlast is actually the one on match point, though, so this conversation is just as important they're having with their coach, right? Because, as stated, we do have infinite OT in these matches tonight. So who knows how long we could be on Skyscraper tonight. All I know is Nightmare looking to finish things out. Leviathans, they're going to try to tie this up and send us into this overtime. Who knows? It's Leviathans definitely look better, but they're still not looking like the Leviathans we know and love.
Something like that is... I mean, they're showing signs of life, especially that last round, as they were knocked around quite a bit by, I believe it was Tomato on the Finca, before pulling back the couple of picks that they needed. But that was also after they had already been backed into a corner. Which, they're still not fully out of that corner yet, as we have yet to get to overtime, and by the looks of the combination of the Ying and the Amaru, we're gonna see something spicy and fast come out these next couple of rounds, or this next round.
Yeah, and the Finca. And, oh boy, this could be either the most big brain giga play of all time, or we're going to overtime, right? You're going to have Nightmare, though, on the Amaru, which if you're going to put someone on that gun, on that G8, Nightmare is the person you want on there. So I can see why they would put him on there. We are going to be holding in the office areas, so no real window into the site particularly, but they will be able to get very quickly up to that second floor if they have to. We're going to see an alibi hologram get tagged up, though, so that'll give away the position of somebody as Nightmare rotating around to the back here. Interesting to see what he can do. Oh, I believe that's the Jaeger that's getting spotted out on that drone.
So whatever quick play is coming out here from the Amaru, it looks potentially like they might try to open the main wall and then send several Candelas into the breach as Amaru comes up the hatch and takes advantage. not 100% sure on that, as there aren't tons and tons of ways to get an Amaru into the site on this specific site, but whatever they have planned for that Amaru, it is going to be spicy, and also what they're hinging winning this map in regulation on.
I do believe you're correct, because Nightmare also has Case in hand. We're going to see P. Loudy, though, take out Tomato, and that will be your Ying off the board, so that could really stop this push coming out from Outlast. But yeah, with Nightmare having the Case in hand, you can see now positioning himself underneath the hatch here. That was the play you had mentioned. Lost your Ying already. Some frags coming in now. P. Loudy gonna have to bounce off. Angel takes a bunch of damage. P. Loudy swings and tries to get a pick. Not able to do it. Nightmare still just waiting for the call from his team. Here comes the Finka boost. There he goes up through the hatch. Nobody's there to stop him. The Doi gonna be hopping in, getting a kill of his own. Spud gonna be getting one. Proxy and Chew, though, return fire. Nightmare actually pulls off of the case. Waffle trying to do a little bit of damage underneath in hand, but Leviathan's gonna be able to finish it off. Allie, we're going to OT.
Not just OT, but infinite OT, as we have as many rounds as we need to finish out this map and either send ourselves to a third or see it end here.
Infinite OT. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we could be here for a while.
Yes, we absolutely could. That would be... Hopefully this doesn't turn into like a G2 versus Empire situation where I miss my firstborn.
On me, Ricky Bobby.
I would rather not miss my firstborn's high school graduation to cast one Siege match, as I like Siege, but not that much. We're going to see Leviathans defend the site that they just previously won to get themselves to this point, which I would say is a good call. You want to go back to places you know you could win, but I am pretty sure that whatever Angel's cooking up for this next adaptation might make them regret that decision, but we have yet to see.
It will be interesting to find out what they do. Right? We are going to see more of a quote-unquote classical lineup now coming out from Outlast, as the Amaru and the Ying have been put away in exchange instead for the Zero of Nightmare, and gonna see the Sophia coming back out as well. So
they forgot to reinforce the main wall. They just reinforced the main wall while Outlast was looking at it. Dude.
It was muted though, so they're still not able to get it open. You know what? That's a missed opportunity from Outlast, because they could have spin up there quicker. If they'd have had the Amaru, they could have flown up there and be able to get that out. But either way, they will be getting the breach opened up now, as Angel's going to set off that exothermic charge. Nightmare, he's going to have his drone muted up by the jammer that's right there by the drone hole. And here we go, a minute left, or a minute into the round, excuse me. Still 5v5. The breach is open, but we can see several members of Leviathans actually spaced out quite far off site. Tomato going to be working his way in through Geisha, and oh, there we go, Waffle using that MX4 and all those sight lines to his advantage to be able to get the first pick, and that's going to be the Finka off the board once again. Operator, you hate to lose early.
Exactly, the kind of pick that you love if you're Leviathans or a Leviathans fan, though, as Tomato has been someone who's made some pretty clutch plays for Outlast over this game, and it's also, as you mentioned, the Finka. Leviathan's going to pull closer towards the site now, as there's no reason for them to stay off with all of the people over there that want to kill them, and the fact that you want to be on the site when the execute goes down, so you can stop it from going down.
Not only did Waffle get that opening pick, also put him up over 15 kills now, currently sitting at 16, the kill leader for this game. I have a feeling it's going to go up even more, but Spudsack getting some nice shots in there onto Row. He's going to get taken out. P. Loudy and Waffle going to be able to trade back as well and put things into a 2v4. It's going to be pretty much all of your support off the board, as Proxy, he's going to be able to get Spudsack, and it's all going to come down to Angel. The Thermite, he's going to take a ton of damage to drop himself below half health. Not able to land any shots there into Dragon on that player. Now sitting at a single bullet of damage, and Waffle He's like, you know what? I got this, boys. Don't even worry. He's going to swing through the smoke, finish off the thermite, and put Lev up for the first time in a long time and in our overtime. So we're on overtime match point. For those of you who are uninitiated, Allie, explain to them what has to happen to get a win in Infinite OT.
So with Infinite Overtime, you have to win by at least, I think it was 2 rounds. So if Leviathans win this round, they have 2 more rounds than their opponents, so they win. But if Outlast win this round, then to win, Leviathans have to win that next round and the next round. So I might be getting that like 100% correct because it's been a minute since I've either casted or watched Infinite Overtime, but it is quite the sight to see.
You're essentially right. If you want to win in Infinite OT, you pretty much got to win 2 rounds in a row. I do believe if Outlast were to win here, though, they'd have to win 3 rounds in a row. So we could be here for a very long time. But it doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. Sit back, enjoy it, because we could actually be going to a map 3 here as well. So if Leviathans can win this next round here on their attack, we'll be going to map 3 of Villa. Unfortunately, Allie, this is the site that they struggled the most on when it came to attacking. We are holding the barbecue area, little kitchen barbecue. Angel's going to be playing up top with that Wama in hand. He was able to do so much work for them the last time they were on this site. He's hoping to kind of relive some of that magic earlier in the game.
I would like to point out that the top fragger for Leviathans is on Monty. Which Monty's a good operator, and I'm sure Waffle plays him well. But it does also put you in the awkward situation where the person that you've been able to rely on most consistently to get the picks that you need is on an operator that essentially doesn't have a primary weapon. They are able to pick off Hadoi with not relative ease, but they are able to do it with minimal map control without losing anyone, but they do have to burn a grenade as well as a Finkaser.
The Finka was downed, so it's kind of like, you know, hey, that's a thing, but P. Loudy is actually going to be finished off as Nightmare is going to take out Waffle. Proxy is going to be firing in and do a ton of damage to Nightmare, but not be able to finish him off. It's a 4v3. Again, you've lost your best player on your team. We're going to see some flashbangs coming out here. Angel's going to be holding a very tight angle. Nightmare, screen's going white, Nitro in hand, it's ripped. Will he be tossing it out? Chu gonna get taken out though by Angel off screen, and it's in a 4v2 as now Nightmare gets another one onto Proxy. It's all gonna go. The season MVP through the main stage. He's gonna be able to get 1. He's got 3 more to hunt down in a minute to do it. He has case in hand. He's gonna try to get this plant down potentially.
Then we'll get the plant down. It's not actually on the site, but he is looking to drawn out the site and just kind of see what's up in the areas around him. He's going to leave that drone on the main stairs for a teammate to potentially watch as he's going to try to make his way into the site through whatever avenue Outlast will potentially let him, and just see if he can get something to happen, as they don't lose if they lose this round, but they do have to go to another round potentially, and there you go. We're going to round 15. Oh boy.
Round 15. You know, back in my day, Allie, you just played 3 rounds of overtime, and it decided who won. But that's not what we're doing here in Xenon Gaming Series. No, we're going all the way. And speaking of going all the way, Outlast, you know what? Why not? Use your tactical timeout. We're going to be able to talk to your coaches. Again, because this is the Infinite OT, we're going to kind of keep reiterating. Outlast now has to win 2 more rounds to be able to win. Both teams actually would have to win 2 more rounds to be able to win. You do have to win by 2. And I got to tell you, the way that this map has been back and forth, Allie, I think that G2 Empire might be creeping back on us. However, we're not in Spain this time. We're in Japan, so it's a little bit of a different venue.
Certainly is a little bit of a different venue, and unlike the G2 vs Empire game, we have a few underagers in the lobby, as both Waffle and Ro, at least to my knowledge, are not 18. So, not able to compete in the grand finals of SI, and then lose to what many consider to be the greatest team that has ever touched this game. But regardless, it has been a fairly entertaining game, as now Leviathans are able to match and occasionally surpass what Outlast is throwing at them, as opposed to the first map, where they just kind of left before the game had really even begun.
And it all kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The team that is going to win this match in Infinite OT is going to be the team that capitalizes off of mistakes more, right? We've talked about it before, because, again, whoever wins this is going to the grand finals. Whoever wins tonight, I guess I should say. Because Leviathans, if they win this map, we do have a map 3. But they are going to have to go up against Homeland, the old Superlight roster. And these mistakes that are being made right now will be ripped, not even just picked apart, they'll be ripped to shreds. So it is going to come down to who can capitalize off of the mistakes, who makes the least amount of mistakes here, who can play the most perfect siege. And right now, both of these teams, they're not playing perfect, but again, they're playing pretty close to perfect siege. Both teams really, really thriving on attack.
If I know anything about Nick Moop, it's that, and he's the coach of Online, by the way, he's definitely in the Twitch chat right now, like, watching the game, preparing things for tomorrow, and he's going to aim to make super light work of whatever team ends up crossing him in the grand finals, as they want to take that trophy, and they want to run away with it. Ro is going to get the opening pick on the Spud Sack. Good play from him, and a solid player to have off the board, as he is the second best player, kill-wise, on Outlast's roster.
I don't care who wins this. Someone get me out of this lobby so I don't have to deal with any more alley puns. Holy God almighty, the super light one. It's too late in the evening for jokes, alley. But what is not a joke is, like you said, Spud Sack being taken out by Ro. We've mentioned it a few times, but he was the MVP of the season. P. Loudy, what a swing! Gonna be able to take out a huge kill onto Nightmare. He will be traded out, though, very quickly by Tomato, but the damage was done. That's going to be your Osa off the board. No shields to be able to do those plants. You're losing the smoke grenades and a fairly good gun, but even more important, the player behind it, Nightmare, currently sitting at 15 kills. He'll have to sit out the rest of the round, though, as we close in to the final 60 seconds.
What's interesting is that Leviathan's top player in Waffle has 18 kills and 7 deaths, and so he's well into the range of being positive. He has less than 10 deaths. But both of the players for Outlast that have been putting up similar numbers are either really close in deaths or are just negative, which is kind of interesting, as last time we didn't have Spud Stack show up nearly as well, and we had Nightmare show up a lot more. So, interesting stuff going on both sides of the aisle, but we still have a game to play, and Chu is going to play the game very well, as is Ro, leaving Angel in 1v4, and he'll get the first kill, and then Ro's going to finish it off, as he has 10 seconds left to kill the next 2 people, and Proxies isn't going to let him. And it's now, did Leviathans? They're saying GH.
This is all your fault, Andrew.
So apparently, it was not passed on to our players that we are going to be in Infinite OT.
Well,
I think our production team may have let that one slip, as there were a little bit of confusion there in the chat. But Leviathans, they're going to be going up 8-7. They are on match point. Outlast going to be going over to the karaoke tea room, the room we actually just saw defended by Leviathans. And to go back to your point that you were saying before the round ended, yes, Waffle at 18-8. playing absolutely fantastic. P. Loudy at 12 and 13. Chew at 11 and 6, so not doing too bad. You know, that's almost a 2.0 KD. Proxy's at 13 and 10, but then you swing over to Outlast. 15 and 13 for Nightmare, 10 and 13 for Angel, and Spud at 11 and 13. Nightmare's actually the only one going positive on their team, whereas Waffle has just been absolutely dominant for his team, and this was what they were missing so severely when they were playing on Clubhouse, right? We talked about it. There wasn't that one person to step up and kind of carry the team. Everyone on Leviathans were playing very poorly on Clubhouse, and Waffle has decided, you know what? I'll do it. I'll take up the mantle. You guys just get behind me and let me swing. And so far, it's been working for them. They are currently sitting on match point. They're going to be trying to take care of Outlast and move us to map number 3.
In 2018, at the Boston Major for CSGO, where NA claimed its first and only major in that game, an analyst named Richard Lewis made the point that sometimes you just need a player to step up and say, I'm gonna win, or die trying. And Waffle stepped out this map and said, I'm gonna win, or die trying. And it's had really great effects for Leviathans. As we can see, they haven't lost yet, as opposed to the first one. However, Nightmare is going to get a double C4 to get the opening pick and almost tie the amount of kills that Waffle has. Proxy is going to get another pick, but Waffle is going to be killed off in that ensuing gunfight, so attack is bad on this map, I guess, is no one's won it in several rounds.
Video games are fascinating, right?
Very.
Because if you're looking at the way that this game went, the defenders have had the advantage pretty much all map. On a map that should kind of be more attacker friendly, right? Skyscraper should kind of be more attacker friendly, just given the way that it's laid out.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go through my notes here. But let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 12 rounds of defensive 1 out of 15. Things are not looking good for attackers. The good news is eventually they will have to go to that third site to try to have to defend. And that's probably where somebody is going to really step up here and get that win, is when both of these teams have to move to their third site that they're not very confident on. Chew and Proxies, though, they do have a little bit of a mountain to climb. They are in a 4v2 and not a lot of health left to do it. Well, now a 4v1. It's all going to come down to Proxies. The Thatcher with very low health and 15 seconds left.
He also has the G2 charm, which, given the current state of that team, I think means he automatically loses the round. He has only 10 seconds left to try to get anything done here, and he doesn't get anything done as Spud Sack shuts him down immediately, sending us to, like, what are we? What round are we on now? Like,
round 17.
It's too old for this, man.
I'm older than you.
We go
I don't want to hear
for
it.
a while. Thank you.
Are you also not too old for this, Crisis?
I'm older than you, Allie, so yes.
Yes.
This is the Boomer Squad casters over here.
I'm
gentlemen.
only 20 years old.
Okay, well, you're still a boomer in the internet. Anything over 14 on the internet, you're a dinosaur, man. Let's be real here.
That's fair. As the two of us have had a crisis over our ages and being dinosaurs on the internet, the site Barbecue and Kitchen has been chosen by Leviathans, and this has been historically one of the better sites for defenders, especially when being defended by Outlast. If I recall, Leviathans didn't do very well. I believe that was the clutch that Waffle lost that we said he should have won. And speaking of Waffle, he has actually been quiet for the past few rounds. He hasn't really accomplished a whole lot since getting 8 kills. Or 18 kills, I should say.
You know, after this match is over, I'm going to have to drag you into a back alley to take care of this situation. But yeah, Waffle, he's kind of gone quiet a little bit. You could say that he's been out of the toaster a little bit too long and he's cooled off.
He's having a waffle time.
Unfortunately for his team.
Shut up, Andrew!
Unfortunately, if you're a Leviathans fan, that's not good news. However, we're going to see Outlast try to come in here and attack this kitchen barbecue site, which, like you said, while they were defending it, Outlast did absolutely fantastically on it. Leviathans, they've only played it once, and it was, again, that clutch situation that Waffle should have had, but wasn't able to pull it off. P. Loudy on the pulse here. He's been able to do some work with this operator the last few times he's played it, and he's going to be using that heartbeat detector to give out the call-outs to his team. And this is a very, very heavy east side push here. I do believe all 5 members of Outlast are kind of this side of the building. So, yeah, this is... Oh, well, okay. Well, he's not going to be giving out any information other than the fact that Spudsack just shot him dead. Going to get the opening kill for Outlast. Things into a 5v4 just over a minute in.
Nightmare's going to be skulking around the delivery area, seeing if he can catch anyone off guard, or potentially maybe even get onto the site, or get a pick off of the site if he can. As Leviathans have congregated mostly around that, like, geisha, karaoke, and tea area, just to try to keep people out of the areas where they can divert play on the site, or potentially get picks onto it or pressure it. Which so far has been working, as we're encroaching on there only being a minute left, but P. Loudy being absent will absolutely be felt for the duration of this round.
Oh, absolutely. He was able to do so much work again on that pulse, like I said. So you're losing all that information, but time is being wasted here by Leviathans. Tomato is going to take a big chunk of damage and not really deal any in return, as Rowe going to finally be able to take him out and even up the man count. Waffle holding some of these long angles here again with that MX4 Storm. Each time he knows, he looks away just as somebody was getting ready to cross over. Nightmare's going to be taking a little bit of damage. I believe that was from the smoke canister, but Hadoy is actually going to go down, and that's Proxy's getting a kill. Angel gets one on the Chew. It's going to be able to tie things up yet again in a 3v3. Only 25 seconds left. Things are going to have to move quick here for Outlast.
Only 20 seconds left, and there is an attempt to get the defuse down, which is going to be stopped by Rowe. And then Waffle's getting to pick onto Nightmare as well, leaving just Spudsack in a 1v3 with only 10 seconds left. He is able to secure the diffuser, but not before being felled by a Rowe, giving Leviathans another round. Oh gosh.
Back and forth we go, as they are able to pick up that round. This is the first time they won that defense, and they kind of won that in a pretty dominant fashion. Yes, they lost some players early, but once Outlast tried to actually push into sight, there was so much vertical pressure that they never cleared off. Everybody pushed in from that east side of the building, like I mentioned before. Nobody cleared up top, and Rowe was able to just kind of sit up there and do a ton of damage. Waffle as well finally must have heard us and decided to get another kill. He's one off of a 20 bomb here, as we're going into round number 18. We're going to be going to the bedroom. Now, I do not believe, if I look through my notes here, this site has been played. So this will be the first time we see this one. Perhaps a little bit of a pocket strat, perhaps, coming out here from Outlast. They definitely do not want to go back up to the office, because that is where Leviathans has been the most successful on attack. Right, that is where they've been the most successful. So they do not want to go back there, especially now that Leviathans are on overtime match point. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. I really am excited to see this. It's the first time either team has played this site. So let's see what Outlast can do with it.
Instead of going on to the office site that Leviathans has excelled at, they're going on to Office 2 Electric Boogaloo, where you play both below Office and inside of Office at the same time, as the site is inside of the bathroom and the master bedroom located underneath it. So Leviathans have to take more area now, which is where they have done the opposite of excelling previously. So this is the best chance that Outlast have at breaking the cycle of losing that tertiary site each time. But we're gonna be here for a while, man. This has been so back and forth.
It really has, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that we were in Infinite OT, this is the last I'll say 6-7 rounds have actually really been really fun to watch and to cast, because it has just been, it's kind of like watching two heavyweight boxers, right? Just kind of go blow for blow and exchange punches. Both of these teams want this so badly. Just over a minute in here, actually approaching closer to the halfway point of the round. No damage done from either team. I don't even really think any shots have been exchanged, but as soon as I say that, Spudsack, he's going to be firing in through the breach, not land anything. Nitrocell from Tomato has been pre-placed. Going to be waiting just for somebody to come in a little bit closer. We'll have to be careful, though, as a teammate playing awfully close, but there's a reinforced wall there. Hadoy, though, is going to be taken down, as well as Nightmare. P. Loudy and Proxies, though, going to drop just as quickly. We're now in a 3v3 with 1:10 left.
Waffle's done it, ladies and gentlemen. He's dropped the 20 bomb, so maybe if we keep this up, you can get a 30 bomb, too, which would be fun. If you're Waffle, or someone who likes watching Waffle, but not if you're me, who gets to yell over all of it. As mysteriously, Ro decides to drone while actively being electrocuted, for reasons that are beyond my mere mortal comprehension.
Well, I think it's a fatigue issue. You know, both of these teams have already played a full map. Now they're playing another one. Angel is going to be getting a kill onto Ro. Traded out immediately by Chu, so we're back into a 2v2. Got 30 seconds left here, and Leviathans, we're trying to make a push. Again, the site is downstairs. This is a very similar issue that they had when trying to attack the kitchen barbecue area. They spent so much time above the site instead of actually on the site. I have to see what they can do, as Waffle's going to be hopping over those stairs to try to get something done. Flashbang's going to be coming out from Tomato in the bathroom, waiting for that drop, shotgun in hand. Spudsack with a fantastic kill onto Waffle. Tomato going to finish it off, and we are going to round number 19. Back and forth we go.
You compared this map to two heavyweight boxers, whereas I would compare the first more to Chuck Norris beating up on preschoolers. So we've seen quite a drastic difference, and I know that by the end of this, my voice is going to be gone, and it's going to be 4 a.m. But I do want to see which team starts to make obvious and severe lapses in judgments continuously due to fatigue. Because these guys have been playing since like 7:30, and we're encroaching on 10 Eastern. That is a long time to play the same people. That's a long time to play in a competitive setting. And since the last tactical timeout was called after, I believe it was round 12, there will be no opportunities for coaches to talk to either of the teams for the rest of the duration of these games. They're completely on their own.
Right. Yeah, both teams have burned their tactical timeouts earlier in the game before we got OT. I think maybe Outlast used theirs when we got time. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact Leviathans used theirs right before they tied it up and sent us into overtime. So, yeah, these teams are on their own, you know, and it's like you said, when is fatigue going to set in? We've seen it happen even with pro players. So the absolute best of the best have these issues. We're going to see this wall start to get opened up by Nightmare, and will it open up the wall? Yes, it does. That's going to expose, I believe that's the smoke of Chu. He's able to get back in behind the minibar. Very sneaky. Able to get back there, and now he's fallen off completely into the terrace area. Great play there from Chu. Very, very heads up.
I do like it a lot, as he's able to both confuse his opponent and get out of dodge and not get murdered. Two of my favorite things to do when I'm defending in this game. I should apologize in advance as we go farther into the night. My thoughts have become less and less coherent. So we're starting to encroach on that point, but I still have some cognitive thought left, as Chu is able to pick off Angel and get the opening pick for his team this round before Tomato refrags onto Waffle, and then Hidoy gets in another gunfight with someone near the dragon area.
Tomato, tired of Waffle just taking absolute control of the round, so he's going to shut him down there. Nightmare going to be taking out Chu, and that's going to be your smoke off the board. The operator you want to lose just now, because it's going to severely limit your plant denial. Right now, only Proxies has the Nitro cell in hand. Do have a couple impacts, but those aren't going to be able to kill in one hit. Nightmare going to be swinging onto the breach. Sees the body behind the bomb chassis. He's going to be able to get one. That is Proxies, and that's your mute off the board. It's a 4v2. Case is down outside of sight. P-Loudy now going to be swinging as Row as well, putting into Dragon, opening up a rotate there into the terrace areas. Tomato firing some LMG rounds into the soft wall, trying to get an angle. Will be able to take out Spud. 52 seconds left here, and Row's going to be looking for another one, holding on to angle. We'll be waiting for someone to cross this. P-Loudy's actually going to be able to get one himself as Row gets one on to Nightmare. Can't happen, though, as Hadoy comes in to clean it up. It's a 1v1 P-Loudy versus Hadoy, two players that are very good.
Indeed, they are very good, and they're both going to have to be excellent here, as this round, if Outlast is able to take it, will break the cycle and give them the absolute advantage going into the side that has claimed the last several rounds. There are only 10 seconds left for Hadoy to make this happen, and he doesn't have the diffuser, nor is he quite sure where P-Loudy's hiding. He's going to tuck into a corner of the office, and Hadoy is going to fail at grabbing the diffuser, and then fail at getting inside of the building to even take the gunfight. And a fun fact that I found while my lovely co-caster was talking, if Waffle gets 2 more kills, he breaks the kill record for one match. So that's some pressure on his shoulders, probably something that he doesn't know, but if he's able to do it, even if they do lose this series, he will have undoubtedly left his mark on the league as a whole, as it's a record that someone else is going to try to break next season.
I would be interested to see how many rounds was played to get to that 21, because 21 is the kill record for Xenon, just so everyone is aware. Waffle, excuse me, currently sitting at 20. So I would like to see how many rounds that match was, because I really doubt it was infinite OT. So if someone did it in 15 rounds, okay. So 15 rounds, we're at 20 rounds right now. So Waffle's averaging about a kill a round. But we do see now every single member of the Leviathans have cracked in the double digits, while we still have Tomato and Hadoy underneath the double-digit mark. Spudsack, you know, we haven't really talked about him a ton, but he's crept up in kills as well, currently sitting at 16. Nightmare going tit for tat with Waffle, sitting at 19. So all of these players here putting up some PRs in the kill department as we roll into round number 20 on Skyscraper.
Spudsack is just kind of one of those players that doesn't get, like, all the flashy kills, and you don't really notice the kills that he gets, but he gets the kills that are the kind of straggler kills that will end up making the difference in a round in the long run. So seeing him like creep up with kills like that without us really noticing isn't that surprising to me. It is a great effort, though. He's just not one of the super flashy players like Nightmare or Angel have been throughout this series.
And that kind of always happens, right? You do get those players who, they're not super flashy. They might not be your entries, but they get a lot of clutch rounds, or they're able to just kind of clean up things where needed and necessary. And that's what Spud has been able to do here. Row, though, with the help of P-Loudy, going to be pushing in through as Waffle. He's going to get the first kill and tie the record for the most kills in a single game. He will now officially break the record, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets the kill on the Nightmare. Hadoy is going to be going down the proxies. Tomato gets the Nitro onto Waffle to end his reign of terror, but it is a 4v2. It's going to come down to Tomato and Spud, as pretty much every single member of the Leviathans are on full health. They still have the Finka boost as well, and we're getting down here to a minute 20.
Tomato's also broken the 10-kill threshold, leaving Hadoy as the only player in the lobby yet to do so. Although if Leviathans have anything to say about it, he won't have a chance to do so. Tomato does get a kill onto proxies, bringing the man count ever closer to being dead even as we encroach on the final minute of the rounds. And Leviathan's last chance to lock this out without us going through another 8 cycles of defense wins.
We saw some yellow pings coming out there onto Tomato, so his location has been given away. Oh, what a shot coming out there from Rowe. The pixel angle on that LMG. It's all going to come down to Spud. We talked about him. He's been creeping up. He's going to do a lot of damage and take out P. Loudy with a nice headshot. UMP doing some damage, but Rowe is going to be able to finish it out, and Leviathan take their map after 20 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic match coming out 11-9. Leviathans win. Congratulations also to All right, we are back after quite possibly the longest map that I've ever casted. 20 rounds on Skyscraper. Hello, everyone. We are heading into map number 3 of the lower bracket finals. I'm Crisis, and I'm here with Ali once again. We're going to Villa this time. A nice little break. You know, we're going to a relaxing scene in Tuscany, Italy. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. It's a beautiful place. Lots of nice scenery. And hopefully we get this underway quickly. Villa, Alley. This is a map that can kind of play a lot like Skyscraper, right? There's a lot of vertical play that we saw. We saw a lot of those depth charge nades be effective on Skyscraper. How effective will both of these teams have to play the verticality? And when is fatigue going to start to sit in? Because they just played a banger of a match.
I think that we're going to truly start to see fatigue after the first, say, 3-4 rounds, once things are kind of more settled. And as for vertical play, I should hope that both teams excel at it, given that we're at this level, and also that Pilaudi is on Leviathans and has long been known as a vert monster. Aside from that, though, we are going to have Dokkaebi being banned out by Leviathans, as well as Nook being banned out by Outlast again, as I guess they really don't want Pilaudi to be able to sneak around in the random corners and do stuff. We're going to see the first defense ban come out here in a second, which is going to be Mira.
No surprise to see the Mira come out again. Villa is a map where she can be very, very strong. She makes pretty much every site so much better with her being on there. And the final ban coming out from Leviathans, Valkyrie. Again, not really a surprising ban, much like we said on Skyscraper and maps like Chalet. Lots of nook and crannies, lots of bookcases, lots of places to be able to hide those cameras. We are going to be having the Leviathans start off here on defense. They will be going to AVG to start us off. Again, by the way, we want to congratulate Waffle once again for breaking the kill record in that last game on Skyscraper. Congratulations to him. But AVG, Ali, this is a site that kind of gets traded back and forth with Trophy a lot as kind of a team's primary site. What would make a team kind of pick one versus the other on this map?
I think it just comes down to personal preference and how comfortable you are on the primary setup you're using for one versus the other. Like, I think those two sites are fairly close in terms of actually being viable, depending on how you play it and how your opponent takes it. It's just a matter of, do I like defending this site more, or do I like defending that site more? Like, it's all like entirely team dependent, I think.
Yeah, I would agree, and we actually see a little bit of extension over into that trophy statue area, and it's kind of, this top floor reminds me a lot of the top floor of Clubhouse, right? Where you have the gym bedroom set up on Clubhouse, you can kind of extend over into the server cache area. This setup kind of reminds me of that as well, and it kind of works for both sites, right? You can extend over into the trophy area when you're defending AVG, you can extend over into AVG when you're defending trophy area. It really is kind of a more utility-based site where you don't have to necessarily be on site. There's lots of opportunities for retakes. It's all about how much damage can you do in between and how much time can you waste. And speaking of damage, Hadoy, he's going to be starting off taking a little bit of damage here. About a third of his health already. This drone is going to get caught up by a mute jammer. Waffle and Row, two big players for Leviathans, holding steady on the north side of the map.
They're going to pull off here pretty quickly, as it's better to get out with your life intact than to stay behind and suffer the fate that Pilaudi does at the bottom main stairs area, as he surrenders an opening pick in the crucial opening rounds of this map, which I'd argue are more crucial given the fact that people are going to start to get tired and fatigued soon, and you really want to get as much of a head start as you can in the opening rounds.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you start losing a few rounds in a row, you could really get that mental kind of just not working in your favor. But Nightmare is just picking right up where he's left off all night long, getting that opening pick for Outlast. And minute 15 left here to go. Here we're going to see some of those grenades start to come out. And that one's going to blow up, I believe, a shield that was placed. Didn't really do any damage to anyone else. So a shield gone for your troubles. It's okay, as they're going to get rid of another grenade going to be going off there in the gun vault area. No one was even around for that one, so no damage done there. Proxies playing on this mute, going to be holding this tight angle into the trophy, or not the trophy, excuse me, the bust area, the little head there. Tomato on that Sophia, looking to into study. Going to be swinging on to the player, and he gets him. That's going to be Proxies down, and it's a 5v3 with 35 seconds left.
Not much going on here in the way of things that could help Leviathans, except for that one pick from Lawful, which is immediately refragged by Nightmare. Ro is going to try to flank up the main stairs to see if he can make something happen, but he has all that could happen for Leviathans, and Nightmare says, no, 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 no. It's me that rules this, as they take the first map with a beautiful 3k from not Waffle, Nightmare.
Nightmare, Waffle, they're kind of the same person, right? They're both frag-heavy operators and players for their team. Seeing Nightmare on the Finca, though, is gotta be one of the most terrifying things in Siege right now, is Finca, again, one of the most controversial operators. Is going to be seeing a little bit of a tweak coming up here in the next season, but as of right now, you're kind of foolish to not take Finca, right? The list of things that she can do is, or the list of things that she can't do, excuse me, is actually shorter than the list of things she can do.
Yeah.
So you're kind of foolish to not be taking Finca. We are going to see a little bit of a shift here, as we will be moving over into this trophy statue, and this is kind of the new meta setup here, leaving open that one panel and kind of making those, you can see in that wall, those head holes, and just getting really long angles to be played. That's probably going to be Waffle. Probably going to have that 1.5 on that MX4 Storm and be looking for those long angles that he's able to hit onto Skyscraper. Going to be trying to relive some of that. We're going to see Ro actually all the way over study. Probably looking for some drones. Going to be trying to delay as much as possible. That Azami with those barricades is going to be able to really anchor herself down.
With the help of the alibi as well on Waffle, it's two of the hottest hands that we've seen for Leviathans historically, both playing in the same area off of one another. If they play their cards right, that will be something that Outlast are really going to have to work hard to break, and something they might not be able to truly break. However, as I say that, Waffle is picked off on a bit of over-aggression, leaving Ro to pull back just the slightest bit, so he can have an avenue to get back into the site, provided the pressure becomes too much. He is able to get a pick on the Spud Sack, though, so that is the sledge off the board. But at this point, it might be more of a consolation prize.
Well, I mean, it is just some soft destruction. It's grenades and a good gun off the board. Proxies, though, he took a lot of damage himself and has really had to fall back. Is once again, the plant denial is just not there. There's no smoke on, or no, there is a smoke on the board, but you want to be able to keep that nitro cell in hand too. Again, with all the first play, Hadoy, he will be taken out by P. Loudy. He's going to try to get a little bit of revenge for dying first in that last round. 3v4 as we're crossing into the halfway point here. Mare is going to tie things back up man count wise and be able to take out P. Loudy. Now push Outlast into the last part of the half of the round to get things done, as he's going to rappel up potentially into this 90 areas. Angel rotating back through by Pillar.
We're going to see some drones flood onto the site here as Outlast want to get information while they can and try to use that information to break their way onto the site and get things going. They should have a fairly easy kill on Proxies if they can line one up, though that's not going to come from a nade, as all of those are gone, and she was playing in a fairly aggressive position up in the master bedroom area near the triple wall and statue that you'll see a lot of teams reach open.
Not all the nades are gone. Nightmare still has 2 in pocket and 4 kills to his name through a round and a half here. And we will see Proxies, though, take out Angel. A nice shot with the SMG-11. We are going to see that grenade come off and take about half of what Proxies had left in health, which wasn't very much to begin with. We're going to see Tomato, though, get a quick little 2 pieces. Ro and Proxies are going to fall. Now it's going to come down to Chew, the lone smoke. He will be able to get the kill on the Nightmare, and that's huge. Cases down, but it doesn't matter as Tomato sprays through the walls. LMG in hand and is able to take out the smoke. Outlast going to go up 2-0 here on the decider map of Villa.
So, something I'd like to comment on, just like with the mental side of the game, is that obviously, that last map was mentally grueling. It was 20 rounds of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, after a previous round had already been played. And so I think that the mentals of both these teams is going to start off chalked, for lack of a better term. And they're going to have to spend the first few rounds of this game really building that up and getting on a good mental streak, so they have the confidence and wherewithal to do stuff and make plays throughout the rest of this game. As if you're both tired and tilted, that is a really bad combination for quality decision.
I agree 100%, and Outlast has already won 2 of these rounds here. Now, that last round was very close. It came down to a 1v1, but the first round, Outlast kind of handled pretty easily, and there wasn't really a lot of struggle on there. And we will be going back to Trophy here for a second time in a row. And again, this is kind of what a lot of teams will toss back and forth, right, with their ideas. How badly did we just lose the round? Can we like fix the issues that we had? Apparently Leviathans think they can fix it. It was a 1v1 to end out the round, so like, you know what, let's go back there. It was way better than AVG, so they're gonna be able to try to lock this one up here. Row, nice angle here onto that doorway. If anybody comes through there, you're gonna have to be on the receiving end of that 9x19 SMG Waffle playing on the main stairs. Bloodsack, though, he's going to be rotating all the way around. It'll be interesting to see where he's going to go as he starts journeying out the mud room, as Tomato starts breaking into the bathroom area to make this push.
You can actually jump into the bathroom here off of a line scan and see if someone will swing him, although no one actually does. Nightmare's going to pick off proxies off screen and get another opening pick for his team, as going to try to get as much of an advantage as they can here, and they're going to want to lock this out and get themselves to finals. Waffle does get another pick onto Nightmare, though, who is the man to kill if you're on Leviathans.
Well, I mean, you say that, but Tomato also currently sitting at 5 kills, so he's been doing a ton of work as well. Waffle going to be taking a little bit of damage. As Rook going to be crossing in and almost got his head taken off, but instead he will be taking the head off the Tomato. So the 2 top fraggers for Outlast now off the board for the rest of the round. Finka and your Zofia, so that's also your only 2 true LMGs. Lion does have that 50-round Vector in hand, and speaking of things in hand, Spud, he's got a kill for himself as he's going to take out P. Loudy on the Astro stairs. Rowe playing behind this Kiba barrier. He's going to be throwing an impact and actually destroy his own barrier and give away his position. Spud going to get another kill onto Waffle. Rotate out. Spud, he's going to have a triple kill for the ground. Eventually, he will be down, though. Chew going to try to rotate out, but Angel's sitting there with his wings wide open to catch him as he falls and finish off the round as Outlast go up 3-0 onto the cider map here. And I think this is where you really have to start worrying about, like you said, that mental kind of getting tilted. Outlast playing very well. And there you see it. Here comes the timeout from the Leviathan.
So this is a situation where I don't even think, like, the tactic is wrong per se. I think the biggest thing Leviathans need is just to, like, sit for a sec and just chill. Just reset the mental, get their heads in the game, and get ready for the next round. Right, because, like, there are definitely mistakes that they're making, and the strategy isn't perfect, but how much of the mistakes are due to just, like, poor mental not being able to set up momentum in this game?
It's hard to say, right? It really is hard to say because we don't know. We can't hear the comms that's currently going on. All I know is Leviathans are kind of looking like they did on map 1, right? All the way back to Clubhouse. They're not looking as sharp. They're not looking anywhere near as crisp as they did on Skyscraper, which even on Skyscraper had their issues, but they were looking a lot more dominant on the rounds that they were playing, even on the rounds that they were losing. So when you have a 3-0 like this, you just battled it out 20 rounds in a row. You won that game. The momentum should be on your side. But you're getting stomped right now by Outlast, and there's absolutely nothing Leviathan seem to be able to counteract that. Again, yes, round 2 came down to a 1v1, but round 1 and round 3, it was almost like the Leviathans weren't even on the map.
I think there is something to be said for the amount of experience between the amount of people in this lobby and especially experience going really late into games like this, as there's already a lot of pressure on this game, as you want to be in the grand final. You want to be one of the people that tries to win the league. And if you lose this game, you'll lose that chance. You accept third place. And then, in addition to that, Leviathans got stomped in the first game, and then won after 20 rounds on the second. And to my knowledge, most of Leviathans, I don't think any of them have actually had a ton of experience in those kinds of environments where you have to sit there and gruel over the game for long periods of time in important matches, whereas for people like Angel and Spudsack that have been around the block more than once and who've been around for a really long time, that's not going to be as prevalent as it is with the youngins on Leviathans.
Yeah, Tomato, he will be able to take out Roe, but P. Loudy, he's going to be able to get out too before being traded out as Waffle gets another one on the Nightmare very quickly, swinging things into the favor of the Leviathans. Fantastic openers there coming out, and they have man count advantage with just a minute into the round. So Outlast, yes, they are down on man advantage, but they have an absolute ton of time to be able to try to get this done. You also still do have your hard breacher of Angel, and you have Hidoy, who really help with the lion scans as proxies. He's going to be here. Will get flashed. Hidoy, though, he's going to rotate off and go over to assist the hard breacher of Angel. Start to move here into study.
With the amount of mistakes that Leviathans have been committing over these past couple rounds, it is entirely possible that Angel and Hill are just going to want to use these last minute and a half to force mistakes or take advantage of mistakes, like that mistake that was just made and that other one that was just made, as Waffle has to win a 1v1 with Hidoy in order to take this round. And Hidoy's been in a situation like this before where he had a round that was important to win that he wasn't able to clutch out in the 1v1. And he's going to look to make amends for that this time, as Waffle knows where he is, but he doesn't quite know where Waffle is. Waffle just dances around the vault and hopes that he can just waste this next.
Yeah, it is going to have to come down to Hidoy here to make a decision and kind of make the move. Case is down pretty much right in front of the vault. Waffle, the shots were hitting the door, so he's going to have kind of an idea Hidoy is coming from, but with 35 seconds really approaching here, both of these players are just kind of at a stalemate. Again, neither one of these players wants to make a mistake. Waffle had that chance for the clutch earlier. As you said, he's looking for a little bit of redemption. Hidoy, he's going to be swinging around the couch now and firing into the vault. Waffle, now no location. Racers coming. He's now going to look inside to see if he can rotate. He's going to peek. Will he be able to get it done? Yes. Hidoy, able to get it done. We're going to go up 4-0 for Outlast. 2 1v1 situations, both won by Outlast here. And honestly, there's not really even too much you can blame Waffle for on that one. It was a 1v1. He got swung by 50-round Vector. It's unfortunate. He should have been able to hit his shot, but so goes the way of the round in Siege sometimes. Outlast, though, not... It just seems like they don't care about the last game. It's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. We lost, but we're just going to speed run this one. We went 20 rounds, and now we're going to speed run.
Something an old coach of mine would talk about a lot is being able to, like, shut off the emotions in situations where it's necessary, and I think this is one of those points. Or shut off emotions isn't the greatest way to put it, but the general idea is being able to put bad things behind you and just play. Is like Krisis has said, like, it looks like Outlast just like, yeah, we lost the last game, but we made them use 20 whole entire rounds to win that last game. If we can just last longer than they do, if we can outlast them, we take this game, and we're going to be the ones in the grand finals.
It really does kind of become a war of attrition, right? Who can hold out the longest? And right now, Outlast, they are really holding out very well. Leviathans, again, it just seems like nothing they can do. Even when they get it to very, very winnable situations, those 2 1v1s that we talked about, they're just not able to finish it, no matter what they do. The 4 opening picks have been Nightmare, Tomato, Nightmare, Tomato. Now, yes, P. Loudy had that 2-piece there right off the end, but there he goes. He just dies right to Nightmare, so the cycle's going to continue as Nightmare gets his 3rd opening pick. Ro will be able to tie it up, though, into a V4, but the damage has been done. P. Loudy sat down. Tomato has been sat down. So your Zofia for a Jaeger, is that a good trade? It's hard to say. Most of those ADSs are probably placed down already, so you're really losing the gun. Whereas with Tomato, you're losing the LMG, you're losing the utility, some Claymores, potentially recharges, whatever they had. So is it a good trade? Maybe. It all depends on how you're looking at it.
I'd argue that it was a fantastic trade, both in terms of utility and the fact that it was Tomato that was killed in that exchange, as he has been he's been like one of the X factors for Outlast throughout this game so far, and not having him on the board is something that Outlast are definitely going to feel. But given the fact that Spudsack and Angel also aren't slouching in this game either, I hesitate to say that it's going to be the turning point that Lev needs, but it certainly is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, you took out Tomato. That's great. Nightmare's still on the field. Angel's Spud's still on the field. They have 6, 4, and 4 kills, respectively. So everybody on this team pretty much able to get the damage done. Hadoy also had that nice clutch up there at the end as well. Nightmare gonna get another one. Grenade in hand to take out Chu. Bro, he's going to be gunned down, but Proxies will be able to take out Hadoy. Spudsack swinging in and getting it done. Waffle, he's going to get the down on Finka and take things 2v2 as Proxies is going to be able to get a Nitro cell, and things are very quickly turned into the Leviathan's favor. 2v1, but we have seen them throw this before. Angel going to be coming through the bathroom area now. Waffle, a shot. Oh, looked away at the wrong time, and he's going to get his head taken off for it. Proxies, he's going to be sitting here by Grandma. Going to take out the last remaining member of Outlast, and that's Angel with 15 seconds left. The mute, does he still have his Nitro in hand? No, he does not. 10 seconds. He'll be able to get it done as Leviathan finally able to put a round on the board. It took them 5 rounds to do it, and it took them a whole lot of times in defeat. They're finally on the board.
Getting on the board is absolutely the first step in any sort of redemption arc with this game. It's the first step to starting to make things happen. And if Leviathans want to have any hope of winning this game and moving on to the grand finals, they need to take that momentum and they need to turn it into at least 6 more rounds. Most likely even more, given the fact that Outlast only have to win 2 more rounds to guarantee overtime.
2 more rounds to guarantee overtime, or 5 more rounds to guarantee overtime. Now, we've said it before, and we can always say it again. Just because you're down big doesn't mean that that's the end of the game. Outlast has won at least 4 attack, which does mean that Leviathans can win 4 rounds on attack. We just talked about back on Clubhouse. It's just your chances of doing so are so much lower. Already kind of down in the dumps. You've been playing for so long. Your mental's a little bit chalked. How well are you playing? How tired are you? You know, we've been live, 3 hours and 10 minutes now. This is longer than played, like you mentioned. It's a competitive setting, right? Like, you can hop on and play ranked friends, play for hours and hours and hours, and that's one thing. This is a competitive setting against the second best team in the entire league. So, yeah, it's going to be rough. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to actually scratch and claw and fight, and Leviathans, they've really got to start doing that.
And I'd argue that the round deficit is going to be even bigger here, as, like we've been saying, like, this game has been long, man. Like, this has been long, like, this game has been going on for a long time, and as you start to get further into it, and as the rounds start to pile up against you, it starts to get to you, and you start doing things like not noticing a Finka on the corner like Proxies just did.
Okay, but to be fair, Nightmare didn't notice the Proxies as he was running past as well, so...
That is true.
We will be getting the kill, though, as Nightmare. He's going to be the first person to get an opening pick 2 rounds in a row. And I got to tell you, he's looking absolutely fantastic. 8 kills already through 5 rounds. P. Loudy, though, he's going to be sitting here, Nitro in hand. This could be big. If it hits, it will get Angel and do a ton of damage to Tomato Row. He's going to be able to get one on a Spud sack after Spud's able to take out Waffle. So a nice trade there. Tomato is going to go down to P. Loudy. That UMP in hand doing a ton of work. Row sees the head just beside Deer, not able to land the shot, though. And instead, looks like he's going to be choosing to fall off potentially. P. Loudy got this heartbeat scanner out, going to try to give a little bit of information. And Row has since fallen back. See a 3v2, a minute left.
Pulse is going to be using a scanner to try to figure out where both of the remaining players of Outlast are playing and try to give his teammates the heads up that they're going to need in order to get that kill and close this round out and give Leviathans really the bare minimum they're going to need to have a real significant chance of coming back here. 40 seconds left. We're seeing a drop onto the stairs near the Astra stairs. I don't quite recall what those are called, and we're also going to have a player running down the Astra stairs, and this is going to be noted by P. Loudy on that pulse. Is going to relay that information to his teammates.
Yeah, Nightmare creeping out here into this red hallway. The Wee Woo will be giving away his position as he moves up into what a lot of people will call Z or Zigzag, and P. Loudy is going to exchange some work with him, but he will eventually be down by Hadoy. Hadoy, though, will be down. Adrenal Surge popped right before, and Chu going to be able to finish it off and get a nice little back-to-back round win for the Leviathan. So it's going to be a 4-2 split here as they go on to the attack, which it's not the worst position they could be in, right? Because let's be fair here, we all thought that this could potentially be a 7-0. The Leviathans able to get to, it's a 4-2 split. It's not the best, but it's workable, right? Leviathans can still come back from this and be able to win and move on to those grand finals again tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern. It will be a best of 5, and yes, before you have to ask, there will be infinite overtime as well. So make sure you stop by tomorrow to find out who will become the grand champion of Xenon Gaming Series this season. All these teams are in the money at this point. This is really the battle for 3rd place to see who is there, but now we're going to see Outlast go right to the kitchen, exactly where they just attacked, and we'll see if they can do what the Leviathans did and get themselves a win.
You know, you talk about how it's going to be infinite overtime on the best of 5 tomorrow, but the best part for you and I is that you and I can watch from the sidelines and laugh at the suffering casters.
Yes, I fully plan on it.
So definitely make sure that you tune into that stream tomorrow. I don't recall who the casters are, but given the grand finals, they're going to be good. Speaking of good, Bro is going to hit a nice shot onto Angel and give Leviathans a great opening pick that they're really going to need to get this going. But Spudsack answers back immediately and picks off Ro, which is a Goyo for a Finka, which is not the trade that you want.
Absolutely not. You're going to take that every single day of the week. Those canisters have been placed. They're in position. They're ready to be popped by the teammates. You don't even need to be alive as Goyo for them to work. So fantastic play there coming out to get that refrag onto Ro, who was starting to get a little bit hot. He's at kills now, top of the leaderboard for his team, but Spudsack was able to get the refrag and get away with his life, which is what's important. You see Nightmare playing on the Ella, using those little feet up top to try to get an angle into that red hallway as Waffle trying to formulate some kind of a plan. We're about halfway through the round here, and we're going to have to start getting a little bit busy. Chu is going to be here with P. Loudy as they start working their way into Zigzag, and they're going to be opening up that wall as a Nitro is going to come out, and it will not get the kill, but it does look like it does down Chu. He will be able to be picked up, though, by P. Loudy. So back in the fight, but very little health, and as you mentioned, the Finka of Ro off the board, so he will have to sit at 20 health for the remainder of the round.
I also like to point out that the person killed on Outlast was their IGL, so the IGL is able to focus just on calling without cams. In addition to that, we're going to have a Nightmare trying to hit a flank here, which is going to be met with proxies and bullets, so net advantage in favor of Leviathans here at this point, going into the final minutes of the round. You're going to want to take this and leverage that into a round win. Close the 2-round gap that sits between them and Outlast. Waffle looks like he wants to try to make a push onto the kind of laundry couch area in order to dislodge Tomato. But he thinks better of it, as he wants to preserve his life.
Yeah, that's not an easy position to dig somebody out of. You know, oh, Doi though. He'll be able to dig proxies out of his life. Gonna get a kill, Tomato. Gonna get one on the Chew. P. Loudy though, he's there and he will get the refrag. His Spud Sack's gonna get one on the Waffle. P. Loudy now in a 1v2 situation and very low health. Spud Sack is also on a single bullet as well. Oh no, Tomato, he's gonna get damaged a lot by that Vulcan canister. It's all gonna come down to P. Loudy and Spud Sack, and Spud had the better angle. He was sitting there lurking and waiting, ready to swing, and he got it done. Outlast gonna be taking their first defensive round here on Villa.
Really good stuff from them. I like how even after the Ella is killed on the flank, they don't panic. It's like, yeah, well, they have to come to us still, so let's just play our positions. Let's just make sure that they're the ones making the mistakes, and that we're the one shooting bullets into those mistakes. And usually that kind of play ends up being very beneficial here. The second site that we're going to see defended by Outlast is going to be Trophy Statuary. Interestingly enough, the primary site is often the tertiary site for other teams. So, Outlast clearly, they thought out this map. They know what they like, they know what they don't like, they know what they want to do to catch their opponents off guard, and they're going to do it.
Yeah, Villa's a map that it's been played a lot. Again, it's the only map in the poll that we've seen tonight that hasn't seen some kind of actual rework. Both Clubhouse and Skyscraper have seen some changes done to them, and Villa, it's kind of been a staple since it's really been introduced into competitive play. So if you're a team that's been around and you've been playing comp for a while, this is a map that you should be pretty good at. It's just about the same as Clubhouse in the sense that it's kind of a real test of your skills as a competitive team, because while strats do kind of evolve over time, there are like the default strats that everybody, if you play competitive, should know how to run on this map, right? Like, It's been around long enough. You should know how to play this map, and Outlast right now is able to play it very well. As we're going to see a little bit of a rush here. Tomato, he's going to take a ton of damage. Leviathan swinging in through into Trophy Row. He's going to be spraying down as Chew is getting the plant down, but Row will be taken out by Angel. Angel's actually going to get another on the wall. Little bit of a 2K there as Chew has now moved over. I believe the Banshee is going off, though, so that's going to be giving away his location. Impact grenades flying through. There's 3 members at least of Outlast here. Proxies, he's going to be able to get one and tied up 3-3. Case is down as Chew gets one. And now we head into 2v3 with 30 seconds left.
Only about 23 more seconds that Hidoi has to get to a position where he can defuse this diffuser, and Leviathans are holding all the crosses they need to make that basically impossible as Pilati finishes him off, and the Leviathans get their, I believe, 3rd round of the game. Or, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get their 3rd round here and make things a little bit more of a tighter race. It's 5-3, neither team on match point yet, but that was a very, very good way to attack. I mean, they kind of just walked right in. Almost shades of Outlast, actually, whenever Outlast was attacking on Clubhouse and the basement was just free. And they just kind of walked in. Leviathan saw site was free. They just kind of walked in. Yeah, they got a few kills and they got a few picks, but for the most part, the site was completely free. They didn't really meet a lot of resistance. Rowe was able to walk all the way into through sight before he actually even saw somebody, and that was, I believe, that was Angel. Had been there, being in the being
Angel
in
walked
the trophy area. So yeah, it was a great play there coming out from Leviathan. I don't think Outlast is going to get caught twice though, right? Those rush strats, they work once, and then they really don't work again. So we'll have to see how Outlast can evolve and change up their strat here to stop that from happening.
That is kind of the beauty of rush strats, though, where they're not something that you build to bring every round's like a trophy strat, but there's something that you put a lot of work into, so you can run them once, maybe twice, if you're stretching it, and just get a couple of free rounds. And if Leviathans need anything right now, it is a couple of free rounds to get themselves back into the game, and just being able to rush into the site and just walk in and kill everyone and plant, that's what they really need to get back into this game.
It was a fantastic play again. It really was what they needed. Like you said, they kind of have to get those free rounds when they're available. Nightmare, he's going to go down. Oh, Tomato, what are you doing sitting in the bathtub taking a little bit of a snooze? He's going to be able to get 2 big ones on a row and Waffle, the 2 best performing overall operators for the entire game. P. Loudy still on the board, though. He does have 10 kills currently, top of the board for his team, but you just lost 2 massive players to a smoke sitting in the bathtub. How do you not drone that out?
That is like the reason that the stuff like that works is that it's like a silver spot. Like, you see silvers hiding in there in their ranked games to try to get a few cheap picks. And you don't really see it outside of that. That's not something that a lot of people expect, especially in the lower bracket finals of a league like Xenon. And so much like how the rush is something where you bring it out, you run it once, and then you never see it again, that is exactly what that spot is. You're not going to see anyone from definitely Outlast and probably Leviathans sitting in that spot, but it got them the 2 picks that they needed, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, that will 150% be droned out every single round for the rest of this map. Because, like you said, it's a rat spot, right? And for those of you who don't know, you think rat, oh, you mean like the animal? No, rat means random-ass tactic, and it usually works. And speaking of things that work, shooting people in the face. This Chu's able to get 1, and then another one. That's going to be Angel dropping. It's all going to come down to Hadoy. No Nitro Cell in hand. Chu is getting the diffuser down, though. Leviathans are quietly trying to bring this one back. It's a 3v1 case. Chu has pulled off the case. He's going to try to reset now and get that planted. It is finished. And now, Hadoy has a lot of work to do to be able to kill 3 members of Leviathan and get that case. Not going to be able to do it, though, is P. Loudy going to be able to finish him off. Played on the Jackal, who I believe that's the first time all night we've seen Jackal be played. Able to get it done. Nice little black ice there as well in the C7E. Leviathans bring it to within a single round now as it's 5-4, and we head into round number 10.
Good stuff from Lev, minus the part where they didn't drone the rat spot, but that's something that we're probably going to see get addressed in the coming rounds, as, like I said, stuff like that usually only works once because teams grow wise to it. We're going to see Outlast return to the first site that they initially won when they started off this half, which could be the thing that they need to guarantee overtime and put themselves on map and match point. But Leviathans also will have had some time to think about the site and how they want to better take it in the meantime. So it'll be adaptation versus adaptation as we continue with this round.
We'll be going downstairs to the kitchen. This is a site that they wanted, the site they defended first. It is interesting to see that they're opting to not go to AVG. They also opted to not go to CCTV on Clubhouse. So maybe they know something that we don't know. It could be their super secret strategy that they want to save for the grand finals if they happen to get there. It looks like the Leviathans have dropped the case, which means somebody's going to have to pick it up, and there we do. That's Waffle. He's going to be picking that up. Kind of fallen off a little bit since the last game, currently sitting at 5-9, but we all know he has the skills to bring that back and start doing some serious damage. Proxies, speaking of, he's going to be able to take out Spudsack. That's going to be your Malusi off the board in an opening pick for the Leviathans.
Proxies has been someone that we haven't given too much of a spotlight to. He's been good, but not like crazy. Although on this map, he has often been a source of almost like Spudsack kills from the second map, where they're not super flashy, but they're what his team needs to succeed. Speaking of needing your team, Pro is going to pick off 2 people single-handedly and leave Hadoy in an effective 1v3 here. He's going to try to drop into Laundry Hatch to make things happen, but as the doors close and no one's in there, nothing much is really going to... gonna come out of it, and he's not able to move around at all while the lion scans happen, leaving him in a really awkward spot.
Doy's gonna have a lot of work to do. Oh, he actually gets Waffle, who was planting the diffuser. So now that case is down on the floor, but he is gonna have 3 guns pointed at him if he tries to rotate in through here. Keep a barrier being placed will give away his position as Proxy's gonna be coming in to finish up the round. Nice little lion scan there. He's gonna be able to get the kill as well. Timeout requested by Outlast. This is only the 2nd time we've seen them use it, and I think this is a good time to do so. Leviathans have come roaring back from a massive deficit of 4-2 to tie things up 5-5. In the last 3 rounds, Ali, they're looking just as good as they did on Skyscraper.
Don't say that. Don't. I will bring out the dad jokes again.
Say what? I said they look good.
Neither of us want that.
I just said they're looking good. I didn't say anything bad. I didn't mention
the fact that it was 20.
The mechanic that shall not be named. I didn't mention that at all. I'm saying they're looking good like they did on Skyscraper.
So while my partner tries to caster's curse us into sitting here for the longest game of Siege that has ever been played, there's been a timeout called, and those are always a good time. I like timeouts. They're a good way to get your team either on course strategically or sometimes just to sit, do some breathing exercises, take a drink of water, relax, and then get back in the game. Both of which are things that I think both of these teams could benefit from, as there have been a lot of mistakes committed by both teams that we haven't really seen on other maps, likely due to the aforementioned mechanic that shall not be named.
Yeah, no, we don't name that mechanic. It doesn't happen. It doesn't even exist. But you know what does exist? Round 11, and we're going back up to Trophy, where honestly, Outlast has had a lot of trouble. They haven't been able to win this site. Leviathans have won it pretty handedly both times that they've tried to attack it. Once again, refusing to go over to the AVG area, or even changing it up and going to the library one. I know that's not a site that people like to particularly play, but something has to change up here, because it's kind of like the situation on Clubhouse again, where Leviathans just kept going to the same site over and over and over again, and they weren't winning, and they were like, you got to change something up. Outlast, you got to change something up. You have to do something different, because right now, the Leviathans are on a roll. They've won 3 rounds in a row here, and again, those rounds have not really looked that close.
They've also won those rounds with various tactics. It hasn't just been rushes. It hasn't just been slow, methodical clears. It's been a mix of everything that we know they're capable of, just done really well. Speaking of done really well, Proxy's on flank watch is able to pick off Angel, as looks like he was trying to rotate back to the site, and Proxy takes advantage and ends his life before he can truly get there, opening up a lot of space for his team and also giving them the man advantage really early on.
Fantastic play coming out there from Proxy. I think he heard us saying that none of his kills were that flashy. He's going to be responsible for the last 2 opening kills here. However, wow, what a shot coming out from Waffle. Swung the corner and took the head right off of Nightmare. Sent him to the Shadow Realm for the rest of it. He's going to be able to get another spud sack. Unfortunately, Hadoy was there in mud, but Waffle has done his job, taking out 2 of the bigger powerhouses that are currently sitting on Outlast roster. It's a 2v4 with 1:15 left. Leviathans really are starting to create this pincer hold here. As you can see, Proxy's repelling up Astro Window, be able to hold the crosses. We're going to see the Yana hologram come in. Tomato will shoot it, give away his position. And now, Leviathans are going to make their attack with the last 60 seconds.
Ro and Pilotti off to go below, most likely to try and get some sort of depth charge nade going to dislodge people or break apart utility, as they just did. It looks like they don't know exactly where Tomato is, which will undoubtedly play to his advantage, Hidoi is also getting a pick onto Proxy, who's been a very influential performer for Leviathans thus far this game. And between that and the unknown shotgun, things are really looking sketchy for Leviathans going into these final 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they're all stacked up here, too. We're going to see some flashbangs coming in. Hidoi rotated over near Deer Tomatoes. Actually going to drop off here to start rotating up backstairs. Row will go down. Shu started putting the case down, but wasn't able to get it finished. Now he's going to restart it again. Hidoi going to be able to get one onto P. Loudy, which is going to be huge. Hidoi going to go big in the end with a 3K. I believe it's a 4K on the round. No. Did he get an ace?
Technically, he didn't get any of the kills, but he did secure his team nap and match point on a round that should have been lost.
No, if you look at the kill feed, he got the kills
Did
at
he?
the end. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, I'm not learning my lessons, so.
He got the kill on the Waffle in Mud. He got the kill on the Proxies. I believe the kill feed, he downed at least one or two. I believe... Okay, so it was a 4K. We're getting confirmation.
Either way.
Yes. Tomato may have downed one, and then Spud was able to confirm the kill, I guess would be. But still, a 4K coming out using the DMR on a Rooney. Not a gun known for doing a lot of killing, but a fantastic individual effort there coming out. Great plays all around. Is now Outlast will be going on to match point, and they will finally be moving all the way over to the AVG side.
First time we've seen it tonight, and this is arguably the most important round that Outlast have had to play thus far. None of the previous rounds matter if they lose this one, as Leviathans will be the team to go into the grand finals and play Homeland for a spot at the prize pool of this season of Xenon.
Yeah, this will be the first time that they've played it. Leviathans did play it twice, and I believe they lost it both times. Yes, they did. So, if you want to get technical, Outlast is perfect on this site. It's just they were attacking it the first time. Bro is going to be down here fighting around with Nightmare. Hidoi playing on these red stairs, and just trying to hold the angles to keep anybody from crossing over, stop those flanks if possible, because we just saw it do a ton of damage. Angel takes a bunch of damage, by the way, and it looks like those are going to be from some of those vertical grenades as they're trying to clear out the more default spots that people like to hang around. As you can see, Ro and P. Loudy both there, both with grenades in hand, so they're going to be trying to do some. Ro has thrown both of his. P. Loudy, one still left in the pocket. Be trying to get something done, but a minute and a half almost passed here, about halfway through the round, and yeah, they've gotten underneath, but got to move up. No real top floor control at all for Leviathan.
Leviathans have liked to do these bottom up takes to this site ever since the initial version of the roster that had Leninmeister and Neo, as well as the roster later where Jabrock was IGLing when they had Nova on the team. So this is something they're familiar with. It's something they've been doing for a long time, but it has also been fairly inconsistent in the success that I've seen come from it, especially when things like Nightmare getting the opening pick onto proxies happen.
Nightmare, he'll be crossing into the double digits, the first one to do so on his team, currently at 10-10, and taking out proxies has been an absolute gunner for his team so far this game. Leviathans will have to do it without him now for the rest of this round and hopefully tie things up here if they want to be able to move on. This is match point to see who does go to the grand finals with 35 seconds left. P. Loudy sitting back here on red stairs. He's going to have a teammate come up with him. Flashbang's going to be coming out. Row. He's going to be able to take out Hidoi. That's going to be your Azami off the board, but there comes P. Loudy. He's going to be able to get one too. Going to use the Yana hologram to get one. Nightmare. He's going to be able to get a kill on the Row. 15 seconds left, and everybody's going to be falling as Waffle takes out one. And now Nightmare, he's going to be able to get another one as well. Angel, he's going to get one as well, and he's going to finish it off. Outlast, ladies and gentlemen, will be winning your lower bracket grand finals and moving on to tomorrow, or your lower bracket finals, going on to the grand finals tomorrow to be playing against Homeland, the Superlight roster. congratulations and GG's to them. A fantastic display of events, a 7-5 on our final map here for this evening. Condolences, commiserations, whatever you want to say to Leviathans. You put up a good fight. Map 2 and Map 3 were far better than Map 1, but Outlast was just able to hang on a little bit longer, even after that 20-round monster of a map that we had on Skyscraper. We will be doing a interview here just a few minutes, so if you would, please stick around, as we're going to have a member of the winning team of Outlast coming on to answer a few questions and kind of look forward to tomorrow's grand finals. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello, everyone. We just got done with the lower bracket final for Xenon Gaming Series, where Outlast beats Leviathans 3-1, or sorry, 2-1, but it felt like 3-1 because that was a very long second map. And with me again, I have Crisis, and we both have some questions which we're going to ask Angel.
Hello. Nice to be here.
I bet it is, especially after how long Skyscraper was, and something I want to ask you, not specifically about Skyscraper, but I want to ask you about how your mental was going into Villa. Because one kind of bit of speculation I did was that you guys, being more experienced, were going to have an easier time transitioning from playing 20 rounds to then going into Villa and then taking this series. So do you think that's something that's played a factor or not?
I mean, I personally like to say about our team is that we've always been mentally strong. I don't feel like mental has ever been an issue since I joined, at least. It's never really come up where, we have to kind of reset mid round, call a timeout. Every timeout that we've called out has always been, all right, guys, this is what we have to do. Let's do it. And then no questions. That's pretty much it. And as far as like, going into that third map, realistically, um, we haven't we have had a total of like one practice in the past like 3 weeks because of personal issues with me and some of the other members. So we haven't been able to practice as much as we wanted, but we it really felt like this map was our good getting us back into the groove, into the mix.
So one of the things we kind of talked about on the broadcast tonight was when you looked at the map pool, you had Clubhouse, Skyscraper, and Villa. Clubhouse is kind of what we called a proving ground, right? It's been in the competitive pool for a very long time. It's played quite a bit and quite a ton. But then you have Skyscraper, which is a little bit of a wild card, right? Not a lot of teams play it. It's been seen more play in competitive recently, but it was Leviathan's map pick. They had been undefeated on that map. Were you expecting them to pick that map for map 2? And were you kind of concerned at all, thinking, oh man, we're going to a map that they've never lost? And how often do you guys practice Skyscraper?
In all honesty, we weren't very surprised that they picked Skyscraper. We'd kind of got into, their map bans and picks and things like that. So it wasn't like a completely random pick. We knew it was a possibility. Um, and as far as I like realistically, as far as Clubhouse goes, I mean, we don't really play club, so us playing that map really really helped us out. Same thing with Sky. I mean, it is what it is. We did go the long run. We did try to close it out. Unfortunately, we didn't. But it is what it is.
So one person that I would like to kind of spotlight with this next question is Nightmare, who throughout the entire series was living up to his name, but especially on the first map, he had, I think it was around like 15 to 17 kills. Like, what was kind of going on the back end to really enable people like him to get those crazy amounts of kills?
I mean, personally, me as an IGO, I kind of just give a generic plan and kind of say, look, guys, however you want to do this, do it. I don't care how you do it, as long as you get this done that I need. And Nightmare really just shined or shone on Clubhouse in that first map. None of us had realized it, not even him, until we were like, I think it was like 5 something, 5-3 or 5-2 or whatever the score was. and we were like, "Yo, Dever, you have 13 or 15 kills," and we were all just surprised because all of us had like 3 or 4, and it was like we didn't even realize, like ourselves didn't even realize it, until we pointed it out.
So checking my notes here, that means Outlast main strat is Nightmare Go Kill. Got it. Cool. So now Homeland knows how to counter strat against you. But speaking of Outlast, right? They're a team that you should know pretty well. The ones who sent you to this lower bracket final. You're playing against them tomorrow, right? What is kind of the mindset of the team? Are you guys hungry for your revenge tour? Are you excited to be able to play them again in a best of 5 where now your map pool is really going to have to get deep? That experience is really going to have to come out. You guys just played a really grueling 3, technically 4 maps tonight. How is it going to be moving into tomorrow? A little bit later, longer games, more maps. What's kind of the mental of the team right now?
I mean, in all honesty, we're just gonna go at it with the same thing we've always done. Just kind of play our game, play what we know best, and hopefully that's enough. And we're not really too worried about them. Obviously we've done our research, but it's not like we're scared of them or anything like that. We're definitely ready to get that revenge tomorrow for sure.
Looking
So
forward to it.
I'd like to give you a couple seconds just to say whatever you want to the people watching, or fans that may have, or your organization, or even your mother if you'd like. Just take the floor and say what you will.
Well, first I'd like to shout out, obviously my teammates, because we wouldn't be here without, or I wouldn't be here without them. Especially Nightmare today, who really kind of popped off. But along with everyone else who inputs everything that they have to do. Honestly, Outlast, our team couldn't be what it is today without each and every single one of them. And also our org, Outlast. Obviously, we just got promoted to the main team a while ago, so it's a lot of responsibility and expectations that we have to live up to. So it's definitely interesting. But they've been really really generous, really nice to us, and hope to represent them for a long run. Um,
And before my co-caster takes the reins here and brings us out, why don't you go ahead and shout out your team's and org socials?
okay, so our org is Outlast Gaming NA on Twitter, and then my teammates is Spuds at Spudstack, at Nightmare11, at Premium Table, which is Alec or Hidoi, at Slug Tomato, and then of course me, Angel R6 _. But yeah.
Well, once again, Angel, congratulations to your team of Outlast. The main roster, as you said, you got promoted. Looking forward to seeing you play tonight against Homeland. If you guys want to come by and watch Outlast and cheer them on again as you did so hard tonight, the match will be at 8 o'clock Eastern. It will be a best of 5 with, yes again, infinite overtime. The casters tomorrow will be Klimps and Korbic. Will be observed by everybody's favorite observer here in Xenon, Tiggy. We hope you all stop by. We thank you all for coming here tonight. We wish you have a fantastic rest of your morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Good luck. Have fun. And we'll see you in the next one.